issues we had last week, but assuming that we're all here, welcome back to the second episode of Crawl Royale, in which a handful of things happened. Let's see, you all got dumped into this beautiful, pristine little, thoroughly abandoned town on the farming outskirts thereof. Then were forced to push your way in as you find your way to the fortress at the center of town to find a portal, to find your way out, in order to get a sweet, sweet saccharine big cash reward.
We do like big cash rewards.
Big cash rewards are very good.
We love big cash rewards.
You started in a small logging cabin where you found another duo of two adventurers who also intended to get big cash reward, who you thoroughly and very quickly dispatched with proper planning and setting up the correct ambush. Let's see. Moving from there, you traveled out from that direction, stopped to do a bit of hunting because you realized you didn't have any food and knew that it was going to be a few days before you both got out of here. Traveled, carrying on. After, starting your little hunting trip, realized that there was a pack of wolves led by a werewolf, it seems, who took some issue with you hunting in their territory, whom you very easily dispatched with James coming out there and slapping the damn thing with a quadruple damage spell that did over 100 damage, which absolutely destroyed the beast completely.
P.S. Are we streaming to anybody right now? Because I don't.
This is a good question.
We have 0 views, but we are on the Zombie Orpheus Twitch channel. I'm got it on my phone.
I'm looking at it too, and it's just saying thank you for watching.
All right. Make sure you're. I just went to watch with 0 viewers right now.
Interesting. Yeah.
Because I've got it on my phone, and I'm seeing us at a slight delay on my phone.
Okay.
Good. Yeah, I can't get it.
We have 3 viewers, so it's happening.
Okay.
All right, I'm excited.
Things are happening. Well, since people showed up, I'll just start again from the top. Welcome back to the second episode of Crawl Royale. We did the first half of the recap, realized nobody was here, make sure everything worked, and then people showed up, so we're all good. Moving forward, it looks like the two of you were dropped into the derelict ruins of the farming outskirts around this large town that you have been sent in to try and survive against 19 other teams of 2. Pushing forward towards the center of town after starting in a logging cabin where you discovered one of the other teams had dropped in really, really close to you. You absolutely eviscerated them with proper planning and a well set up ambush. Moving forward, you traveled towards the town further and further, discovered that you realized that you actually didn't have any proper rations on your person, went to stop, go hunting, found a deer, killed it, and it seems that there was a pack of wolves led by a werewolf who were very displeased that you ended up hunting in their territory. So after quickly dispatching that werewolf, because James got a really, really silly 4 times damage spell that did over 100 damage, which is ridiculous.
I've never even seen that.
No, yeah.
Before that was,
and I've played in like at least a little 20th level shit just once, and that's impressive. So you dealt with the werewolf, retained your quarry, and kept heading forward. You found a small little farmhouse which seemed to have lights on the inside, and you met a nice older lady who seemed to be maybe a little lonely, certainly without any friends because of all the business going down with how, the town had been abandoned a long time ago. It's very sad. She's doing her best. You came in, you said hello, and agreed that in exchange for a more low-key but quicker access into the town proper, you would help them deal with the fact that a giant in the local area had stolen one of their cows and seems to be keeping it. So, after that, you have taken a long rest, gotten yourself back up to full power, and are waking up.
Power! And we are. Is it just the 2 of us? And who are we again?
Who are you again?
Like, just for the recap in that area.
Of course, we have Christian playing the beautiful Barclay Knox, a very, very spooky person who seems to have magical sword powers, summoned a sword out of thin air. That's crazy. And we have Brother Anahay, a quite possibly questionably morally aligned priest.
I don't know. I found him very professional.
Oh, absolutely professional. And I believe that covers just about anything. If there's anything either of the two of you think that we should add, please go ahead.
I'm over the week I was reconsidering, like, was this really the best character to make for a stream? Because he's very dry and what's the word? Droll.
Mm.
And I'm sticking by my guns. I'm doing it.
Stick to your guns. So
no antics. Not from me.
No antics. Everybody else, I'll make sure to put a lot of antics in the NPCs to cover for you. Don't even worry about it. Beautiful. Moving on from there, in the wee hours of the morning, as the sun is creeping up through one of the windows, you find yourselves waking up in this small farmhouse with the old woman who you met earlier, who I genuinely cannot remember if you got the name of.
I certainly did not.
I don't believe it came up.
Lucky for you, I lost all of my notes.
That's fair. I have my notes, but I can't find it in my notes, which is a little concerning. So we're gonna hand wave that and say that it didn't happen, or you got it, but you were so stressed out and running on adrenaline after killing 2 people and a werewolf and running very, very fast. Maybe you forgot. It was a long day.
I would like to go on record as saying I think werewolves are people too.
Oh, yeah.
Werewolves are people too.
You know.
So here we are, Brother Anahay.
Mm-hmm.
Rested up.
I think we need to go get a cow back, apparently.
Yeah, you should get directions.
I heard retrieve a cow, kill a giant.
Retrieve a cow, kill a giant, and I have hash browns.
Who has hash browns?
The older woman whose house that you had been crashing in comes in, returning from the outside, holding a little plate of hash browns, big enough for the 3 of you. I'm gonna do this family style. I don't have a lot of extra dishes.
It's better than we were probably going to eat anyway.
Sit around the fire. I'll pull up a stool to put it on. And she lights up the little fire pit on the inside of the house that you had all the night before gathered around while you were looking at her seeing mirror to see what was going on with all of the other people. And that is one thing that I will remind you of note, is that after looking through that seeing mirror and basically checking on the broadcast that you were all a part of, it seemed like nobody else had gotten into the town at that point. So you didn't seem to be, at the very least, much farther behind than anybody else, as far as you could tell.
That is good news.
I mean, we were making really good time, so I'd be surprised if we were behind.
Yeah.
They seem to be a little bit short of the 40 as well. There seem to be a few dead.
There were. I believe 12 other players were dropped in the first day.
That's pretty morbid.
Yes,
indeed. It is a blood sport.
So, where is this giant?
Yes. If you come with me, I'm sorry. I should probably introduce myself. My name is Brenda Hashbrowns. As I have been dubbed by someone in the chat because she didn't have a name and Paximo thought it was a good one. So we're just going to put that in there. My name is Brenda Hashbrowns. It is a pleasure to meet you properly. So if you go out this way, you see that hill over there, and she leads you out the door and points in the direction of the tallest hill somewhere in the northeastern direction. If you go under there, in the nearer area, down on the southern side, there should be a cave. I poked around to see what was going on when I knew that the giant was out. See if I could figure out a mission. Little cow heist, as it were.
Cave on the south side.
Cave on the south side. Not natural. It seems like it's more of a ridge that began with, and then they took a lot of the ruins of the various different watchtowers and other brick-constructed things and sort of built a roof over, and then that continued to fall into the hillside. So, look for the fake cave with the stone roof on the south side of that hill.
Got it.
Works.
Brenda?
Yes?
If I might call you Brenda?
It's my name.
I have one question. Did you make hash browns today because your name is Hash Browns, or are you named Hash Brown because you cook hash browns?
My great-great-grandfather was an expert chef who specialized in hash browns, and after being run out of town as a witch for the mystical powers of the potato control that he had to take on a new surname and decided hash browns would be correct. It's a little on the nose, I'll be honest.
Yeah. Well, I mean, thank you for the history. Weirdly, that's not even the first story I've heard like that. I ran into a guy named O'Brien who had a remarkably similar backstory.
You know what? I believe it.
There's magic in those potatoes.
You're damn right. It's an ancient family recipe. It goes back over a century. It should be about an hour walk.
This cow's not going to steal itself back. Get it.
Good luck.
I don't like cows, but okay, let's go.
I have some extra water skins for the road, which I'm sure you would be able to make good use of. There's a well outside. Feel free to freshen up and deal with everything that you need to before you head out. I'll be inside. Let me know if you need anything. I have a bunch of stolen books. I never named the cow.
All right, fair enough.
You know what? You name the cow.
Okay.
And I want to go on record. I never named the cow in the notes here. So I've never named the cow.
That's
canonically, I have never named the cow.
You just saying about the close.
Well, if my name was Brenda Hash Browns, I probably wouldn't go around dubbing things either.
First of all, that's rude. That's very rude. However, I mean, the cow never really took to any. I tried a few names. Mildred, Stephen, Carthwasson. None of them seemed to stick. The cow didn't seem to care for any of them, so I just started calling her Cow, and that worked.
Fair enough. Let's go steal a cow.
Cow on, good cow herds. So, as you push on in the approximately hour walk to go forward, relatively easily munching on some of the deer that you were able to cook before turning in, because she provided firewood and whatnot, so all of that is well taken care of. You have rations, you have water. It's not a very long walk, so I'm not going to have any sort of random encounter sort of thing happen. It's only an hour away, and you are in the giant's territory, so you get the idea that not a lot of people are trying to screw around in here. At least, those that live here. There's, of course, you.
Right.
Yes. But we're obviously crazy.
You're obviously crazy people.
In order to avoid running into it during the trip, I'd like to make a survival roll to
Good plan.
find a way to cover our tracks at least, so it doesn't expect company if it is out.
Absolutely. I like that. Go ahead and make that roll for me. I'll make something to...
Can I assist with that at all?
Yeah, you can provide... you can use the help action to give Christian advantage.
Nice.
So you have to beat a 19, because I actually am not rolling very good.
A 19? What am I rolling against exactly?
You are rolling against a 19, which is the hill giant's perception.
There's my helping with the survival roll. And
But that
That's
turned out
great.
even better for you. So it is absolutely a non-issue. You grab like a rake from the farmhouse and just take it with you and carry it behind, brushing it every now and then, making sure your foot tracks aren't done, taking very sweet, small, little footsteps, avoiding all sorts of underbrush.
We are obviously skilled at hiding our tracks and have both done so before in our
Yeah. If I didn't know any better, I'd say the two of you are a little unsavory.
You know, I don't even know where you would get that we are unsavory. That doesn't even make sense to me.
You know, you're so sweet.
Look, we're not sweet. We're doing a job. It has nothing unsavory. That's just rude. You know, all men die. And that's all I got to say about that.
You know?
And I'm pretty sure Brother Anahe would back me up on that.
That is 100% part of my faith and beliefs.
I believe it. So I believe that in the Roll20 application, I have drug you over to another page.
Ooh,
I see that.
So, you are coming from down in the bottom right corner. I'll give you a little, let me select the cursor, a little shift tab over there. You're coming from that direction. You can take either of the paths going inward, or you can come through the trees as you would like. However, I would like both of you to separately make stealth checks for me as you approach the cave and try to make sure that you don't let anything spooky happen.
I can do that.
And I'm going to run this off of the giant's passive perception because at this point it is not roaming around its territory. It is at home and not terribly worried. So that is a 20 from Christian, which is quite good, and a 14 from James, which is also pretty dang good. And this hill giant is not exceedingly perceptive, so you are in the clear. Looking forward, you see the obvious reclamation of stone above this pair of hills that sort of come together. It looks like they're very large, and they're shaped in such a way which you might be able to guess that they were quite possibly taken out of some sort of dam to be built in a certain direction so it doesn't collapse on the pressure. So it seems to be a very, very structurally sound sort of arch going inward, fading into the side of the hill. And at the face, just inside of that good hill, where that little cave that has been made is, you see an incredibly large humanoid figure.
I see it. That is quite an immense figure. That the giant name really makes logical sense now.
Yeah, it's approximately 20 some odd feet tall. You're not exactly sure. It does seem to be hunched over and considering something.
All right.
Yeah, and the proportions are obviously not similar to a lot of medium-sized humanoids that you've run into. The arms are incredibly bulky and large, and the legs are also quite wide as they have to support this incredibly tall, heavy humanoid frame. And the head is relatively small with relatively large ears and a pretty big mouth. Large and barrel-chested, it sits facing inward to its own cave, futzing with something you're not entirely sure what. How would you like to proceed?
But that overhang, how high above its head is it?
So the giant is approximately 25 feet tall, and it looks like there's not a ton of clearance, but a semi-comfortable amount. Probably 10 feet above the head, meaning that it is 35 feet above the ground. And I will write a note in here just to make sure that we have that easily accessible.
So I think if I can get above him on that overhang, I might be able to cause him significant worry from above.
I think that makes sense to me.
If I can do so very stealthily, I might be able to cause him a serious amount of pain before he has a chance to do anything.
Makes sense to me. Yeah. Can go plan. Figure out how you want to tackle this.
I'm gonna go at the mouth of the cave. That way I can distract him while you're getting whatever you're getting ready.
Right. I'm going to try and stealth in above to the overhead part. I basically want to be looking down at him from those stones.
Beautiful.
Yeah. That's where I want to get to.
Great. You make me another stealth check. And Christian, would you like to walk up nonchalantly, or would you like to also try and sneak up? The 13...
yeah. I abandon chalantness.
Completely without any chalant. So feel free to place your stealth up here at the top on that rock ridge that 13 is going to pass because we're still running on a passive perception for the giant.
Where are the tokens?
They should be... You should just be able to go into the journal tab where the character sheets are, grab your character sheet, and drag it onto a hex, or onto a square.
Huh.
See what I can do.
If not, I can drop them in and see if that is helpful.
I'm trying so right now. That's not letting me.
All right. Here, let me put you in there. Can you grab your token up here and control it?
Where is my token?
It should be up.
I see Christians.
Okay, yours should be up on the stone ridge at the top of the page.
Okay, Christians is back in the corner where we started, and you put me in just about the perfect spot.
Great. Just to check, can you... Great. I love it. So you can move all your stuff. Everything's good. That is good to know.
There.
No
You're in the
technical
bottom right-hand
difficulties
corner,
today.
Christian.
That's true. Well, that's where he was initially. I was letting him choose his path as he liked, but he is walking up. I believe also sneaking. Is that correct?
No, nonchalantly. I mean, I'm being...
excuse me. Yes. Yeah. So you're going up. We will say...
I mean, I'm not whistling or anything, but...
Right. The creature is going to take notice of you eventually as you get probably about as close as you are and turn around and look at you.
I would like to mark him at this point.
Beautiful. I believe you can do that without needing to...
It's just an action.
Great. It is an action. You do it, and I trust that you know how it works.
I do.
Great. So the creature turns around, the giant, to look at you, Christian, and says, what are you doing in my house, tiny person?
Come about a cow?
You want my cow?
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to assassinate him.
Beautiful. Are you shooting him, or is this some kind of...
Yes, I am going to shoot him with my bow and arrow now that I have marked him, and I'm assassinating him.
Absolutely.
Oh, damn!
Get on in there. Take your shot.
All right, I'm going to make this roll. This one is with advantage.
Absolutely. They are completely unaware of your presence.
Oh, no.
17 is, in fact, going to connect relatively comfortably. So go ahead and roll your stupid damage. You stupid assassin.
All right. Let's see. Well, because I marked him, he's going to take double damage from this attack. And because I assassinated him, it is automatically a critical hit.
This is correct. So you're going to roll twice and then double that because of how things work.
Let me mark the damage properly here. All right, so this is the normal damage without any of the multiplying for critical hit or for marked.
Right. So that is going to be 12. And the dice are going to be
the dice
doubled.
A second time, or do I just
You roll the dice a second time, and do not add your +4.
Okay, so I'm just rolling dice the second time now. So you've got the 12.
Got 12, and then we're going to add this number, which you rolled so good on. So that is going to be a total of 28, which is then going to be doubled
Yes.
up to a solid, I believe, 56.
56. Yes.
Good. Great. You shoot this thing, presumably either right in, like, through the base of the skull or somewhere in the nape of the neck, whereas you know would be soft.
Between the collarbone and the neck.
Let's see. And you do a beautiful, beautiful, ridiculous amount of damage, which, is not going to kill this one, damn you. Not just yet. I'm going to do this, and that is going to go to that number. Actually, I can do that in the token, and then you can know roughly how much damage you're doing. Let me put that back to where it lives. Excuse me. I am fixing something so that I've decided to change it a different way. So then this one is going to be... That is down to 9. Yes. That is at that much. And this is the maximum. That's not correct. Hold on. That's not supposed to be that much health. There we go. So you have landed a ridiculously solid hit. But this thing is obviously still standing. It reaches up to the back of its neck and pulls out the arrow and takes note of you up there. Because it's not super smart, but it knows enough to know that that came from up, and there is space above the cave, so there's definitely somebody up there. And at this point, we are all going to roll initiative.
You got it.
Ka-chow. It's going to be a 16 for the giant, and I will open the initiative tracker.
Fine initiative indeed.
Indeed. I can trash that. So if you select your token on the world before you roll it, assuming you can do it from your character sheet, which you actually can't do, James, because I don't think you have everything translated, which is totally fine.
I do not.
Yeah, neither can I.
So, all right, that's fair. Well, here, I will open your things, and I will roll initiative for you, and then we will adjust the numbers to what you yourselves have rolled.
I'm just doing it.
Great. Yeah. Move it up.
What church does Brother Anik? We don't talk about the name of our church, but the motto is all men must die.
17.
Beautiful. That is a 17 from you. So you are both going to get a turn before the spooky stuff happens. So you're going to do this.
What do you mean the spooky stuff? What's the spooky
stuff? The spooky stuff is the big giant. So, Brother Anahe, you... who is admittedly the most spooky. What would you like to do on your turn?
Well, he hasn't acted yet.
This is correct.
I still have advantage on attack rolls against him, according to my assassin class.
This is also correct.
That's also true.
So those roll. Are you automatically doing dice rolls with advantage, or do I need to roll a second time?
You'll have to do it a second time. The way that dice rolls with advantage work is it has to come from, I believe, the character sheet. So Either way, we're going to take the 13.
Yeah, the 13 is better than the 1.
Yeah, which is, in true fact, just shy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you get the feeling that you would have almost certainly been able to shoot that if it hadn't moved just a twitch as it was resuming its position to look back at Barclay Knox. So you still have your movement and your bonus action.
Well, let's see. I'm going to use my movement to move back 5 feet from the ridge so I'm out of his sight, and use my bonus action to hide because I am a rogue. I can do that.
Absolutely. The way that I'm going to rule this, just to make it completely clear, is they obviously still know, or at least believe, you're somewhere on top, but they do not have a bead on your exact position. So you'll still be able to, be hidden for all things that are considered, but they still know that you're supposed to be up there.
Just trying to continue getting attacks with advantage so that I can do a sneak attack damage.
Absolutely. Move yourself up and make a stealth check. And this one will, in fact, be opposed because they are very aware that you're up there. And
that's not a particularly good one.
That's fair. let's see. You have a 13, and I, to oppose it, have rolled a 19 because this giant is really good on 18s. It's just really happy to see him. So it still gets a bead. It's you notice as you step back, there are just enough like creases and wear through rain and various other things between these holes that it seems to be aware of your location. Yeah. So, moving down the initiative order to Barclay Knox, what would you like to do?
Well, I'm gonna give him the old Hexblade's curse. Pow.
Pow! I believe that is your bonus action, yes?
I think so.
I played a Hexblade once. It was very good.
I have not, nor have I played a paladin. But now I'm playing both. So I would also like to smite him.
Beautiful. The way smite works is you are allowed to declare it after you connect with an attack.
Great. So can I move up to a position that is somewhat flanky?
No. Brother Anahe is not currently considered adjacent, so you cannot get a flank off with Brother Anahe.
Fair enough. Well then, I'm going to try and whack him.
Beautiful. Make that attack roll.
Yep.
Huh.
Did that work?
I'm not seeing it yet, but sometimes rolls take a minute to register. But it may be worth
I'll just do it.
rolling again.
Hey, there's one.
Beautiful.
I
18 is
think
going to connect clearly.
Yeah, I think I get advantage, so...
No, I think you get bonus damage from the Hexblade's curse, not advantage.
Oh, I think you're probably right.
Yeah, you should be
I
able
don't know.
to
I'm not
add...
looking at the thing.
It's good. You will add your proficiency bonus to the damage you are about to do right now.
Oh, cool.
So,
And what is
connect.
smite for damage?
Yeah. Smite does 1d6 plus 1 radiant damage, or not plus 1, 1d6 plus the spell level consumed number of d6s. So, for example, first level spell is 2d6 because it's 1d6.
We'll say I
one.
used a first level spell.
Great. So you will roll 2d6 to add on top of whatever damage you are doing right now. And those 2d6 will, in fact, be radiant damage, which is relevant on some enemies.
Is it just 2d6, or is it plus anything?
I believe it is just that, but I will double check right now. Going in here. Give me that Divine Smite.
Plus your weapon damage, right?
Oh, excuse me. It's 2d8. So you can re-roll those.
I will.
Yeah, and you will also be doing your weapon damage with your charisma since you are a Hexblade, and then also adding your proficiency bonus because you done ding dang cursed him.
Okay, and then I add proficiency to that as well.
Just one.
Okay,
you only get a proficiency once per
I
turn.
did 33 damage.
You are out here doing 33 damage, which is, admittedly, 33, quite a lot. And this thing is now what one would define as bloodied. It is starting to look properly worse for wear. And I believe that is all three of the actions that you can take.
Oh, yeah. I am out.
So we are going to move on to the big spooky giant, who is thoroughly displeased with what is currently happening to him.
I would imagine.
Yeah, you might think. And is definitely going to do something about it. So, this is going to be a relatively simple turn. It raises up something that it seems to have been keeping a little bit behind the darkness, but you're not surprised to see. It was just sort of a silhouette, which looks to be a large, rotten log, probably around 20 feet in length. And it rears up to beat you with it. Once. And a 20, I have to assume, will connect. and after the first one goes through, it swings it back in the other direction and tries to go into you again. Is a 15 gonna beat your armor class?
Oh, I have no idea. What does the thing give us?
The gambesons, which were studded leather, make your armor class 12 plus your dexterity modifier.
Which is 1. So yeah, that'll hit me.
Great. Both will connect.
Or
so
is
you
it-
are going to take...
Wait, is it? Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead and check. No trouble.
Thank you. Man, my dex is +1.
Cool. So both of these are going to connect, and you are going to take a total of a lot of damage.
Do you have an exact number
up
for me?
Yeah, it's going to be 39 damage.
That's a lot of damage. Are you
That is a
sure it's that much? Can it be less?
I am certain.
It is a giant.
It is a giant.
39.
39 as it hit you with both attacks. 39
All right.
of that damage.
Where do I write that down?
On your character sheet, there should be total hit points and then a large section which says current hit points, which you will be allowed to situate stuff with.
Ouch.
Just for reference, because I see it in the chat as we're doing some math, the characters are both 5th level, and they are both multi-classed. So there's some wiggly warbling going around with the math right now.
Yes.
All right, how are we
All right.
looking?
We have less hit points than we had before.
Good. But you are still standing?
I have 10 hit points left, bud.
You're not dead yet.
Or 11.
And that's going to be...
right?
I'm not entirely sure. Only you can know.
How do I do that on there? Damn it. Okay. I've given up on the program. I'm just going to write this down like a human
That's
man.
totally fair. As long as you have the math, I trust you.
That's
So-
fine.
Yeah. It is a little spooky. Moving forward, that is going to be the giant's whole turn. It is not going to take a bonus or movement action. And we are going to tick forward in the counter to Brother Anahe.
All right. Let's see here. Well, another an ally is in hand-to-hand combat, so
You
That
do
does
get your
allow
sneak
me-
attack.
to make sneak attacks on it.
Yeah. And I am going to rule, due to the height of this thing, that since you're using a ranged weapon, you will not be able to get a flanking bonus from this.
Oh, you
But
didn't hear
moving
what I was going
forward-
to do yet.
I haven't heard what you're going to do yet. Excuse me. I'm very sorry. Please go forward.
All
and I will
right,
tell
well,
you about things after.
I want to use my dash action to move up to the lip there. I'm going to use some acrobatics to flip off of the lip there, and I'm going to use those paired kitchen knives to stab him in the back.
Beautiful. Make me an acrobatics check. And I will make... Since as you get in, this will be considered flanking, and we're kind of screwing with rules a little bit just for fun, I am going to make a dexterity saving throw to resist being jumped upon. Are you jumping on it or trying to slip behind it?
I'm more going for behind it, but I kind of want to stab it in the upper body, so jumping from here is better than from being on the ground, if that makes any sense.
Great.
I kind of want to stab it on the way down. The acrobatics is because I don't want to die from a 30-foot fall.
Yeah, absolutely. So your acrobatics check is... Yeah, I'm gonna allow this. I'm not gonna get any saving throw on this. You're just making the attack as you go down. This
Yes.
Is that your acrobatics check?
That's acrobatics.
That is going to succeed. You are going to take quote unquote half falling damage, which will be... I did roll very high. However, you're only going to take 8 damage from the fall. You're still standing. Your hips and your ankles are a little worse for wear, but on the way down, you get your advantage sneak attack. Attack. That's
All
the
right.
odds.
Here are the advantage sneak attack.
Too right. Both of those would connect, so you do get a hit, and you will get your sneak attack bonus. However, it has moved, and you know how these things work.
Excellent.
Hmm.
Oh.
All right, I got to do this in multiple dice rolls because I can't do 4s and 6s together.
Fair
I'll
enough.
start with that, and then add.
You get your little basic damage.
That to it.
Beautiful. So you are going to do a solid 13 damage. So this thing is continuously looking worse and worse for wear. And you are just covering the health bar a little bit, but you are getting the impression that this thing is it's looking pretty bad. So moving forward on the turn order, as you made that beautiful, beautiful little hop, we're going to go to Barclay Knox, and you are now flanking.
Me. I am now flanking?
You are now flanking.
I love flanking.
Flanking's good. Maybe a little too powerful, but I really don't care. And I'm not going to homebrew a bunch of stuff in the name of the stream, but I'll do it when we play our own game.
Very well, then. I will continue to whack him.
Absolutely.
With my big swad.
Your big sword. Go ahead and make an advantage to big sword check. All right. You're at least going to hit, but go ahead and roll again just in case you do get that sweet crit.
Like that,
and
right
you
there.
Do!
Boom!
Now would be a good time.
I'll smite.
To bust another smite, because that dice is also damaged, because the way that critical hits work in this, all dice get rolled twice. Absolutely.
Yes.
I'll smite with a level 2 spell.
Roll all those dice. Get them in there.
Okay, so first, is there any way I can roll these all together?
Yeah, if you type / roll, like, I believe it's, so for you it would be 4 die 6 space plus space, and then this is a second level spell, correct?
Yep.
4 die 8. I believe I'm going to post this in the little game chat. If you type it like that, but remove the period at the beginning, I believe that will work. And if it doesn't, you just have to remove the spaces between the dice.
And add your strength mod or whatever it is.
And of course, you get the modifiers, which will be another plus and then that number. Here, let me check just to make sure this works. Okay, so you do have to remove the space. That's an example of what could happen. You could possibly roll 23 damage, not including your modifier, but it will probably be more.
All right, let's see what happens here.
Indeed. We are going to get there, and I'm going to look at chat.
Oh, wow.
40 damage. All right.
Yeah.
Looking at this, let me just do a little minus.
Smite is amazing.
Smite's really good. Paladins are really good.
Oh, were any of those ones? No.
One of them was, but do you have Great Weapon Master?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I think that was those are it's on one of the 8s. I don't think I can do it.
Yeah, that's on your smite die, so I don't believe it will let you re-roll it. Either way, you go in for this tremendous strike, cutting the front of the torso basically open, and they reach in with their offhand, their left hand, and hold over to close it and say, I'm gonna yield. We're good. Because it is the giant's turns next. I'm gonna yield.
Cool.
You can take the count.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Were we supposed to get anything else, brother?
She just wanted her cow back, and don't bother Mrs. Hash Browns again.
No, you can go ahead and make either of you, if you would like, can make an intimidation check with advantage.
Yeah, I'll be happy to do that if you want to.
Please do.
Yeah, you say it, but Barclay Knox looks at him really intensely in a way that says, "But I'm gonna back it up."
I'm thinking mostly pointing the bloody sword at him.
Yeah, big bloody sword, currently sizzling with divine flame. 17, just for the sake of it, I'll roll that. I got a 6. Yeah, no problem. Oh, we're good. We're so good. Oh God.
20 since I rolled advantage.
Oh, excuse me. We're super so good.
All right.
Super so good.
Cool. I will.
You keep the sword pointed at him. I'm going to grab the cow.
Yeah, it's in the cave, and you could, if you want, you can look around and see if there's anything else you want. Maybe.
Thanks.
I don't
Appreciate
know. Yeah. No trouble.
Good. I
y'all
really
are
didn't.
real
I didn't
polite.
want to necessarily kill you.
Right. No, of course, but yeah, it's a job is a job. Oh no.
I'm glad you understand.
Mm-hmm.
Is he dying?
Not currently. You know that the giant is conscious. If you would like to make a medicine check, I can go into more detail. And, if you fail this, it's just a knowledge check. So if you fail it, there's nothing to really lose.
Oh, why not?
All right.
Just for fun.
See how bad he is.
I'm sorry.
The brother has it.
Yeah. I think I know exactly his condition. I'm very familiar with anatomy.
Yeah, both between your familiarity with anatomy and your familiarity with what little bit of giants that you've studied, because possibly in your background, and the situation that you had been put up in, the wounds will heal. It's more about the combined shock and total damage that would cause a problem, but since nothing further has happened, you're relatively confident that he will be fine, and giants also heal exceptionally well.
Nonetheless, I'm going to give him a couple of quick medical tips before I search his cave so that he'll prevent infection and survive the wounds to a much higher degree.
Oh, thank you. That's oddly kind for someone who just shot me in the back a few times.
You yielded.
I did yield. It was the smarter decision. I would have died.
All right, let's find this cow and loot his homestead while we're at it.
Yeah, absolutely. As you push into the homestead, into this cave, and push further and further back, you see the cow, as well as a few other smart farm animals or farm-type animals. A couple horses, a few goats, 2 horses, 3 goats, the 1 cow, a box of what looks to be very haphazardly and much larger than would be wieldy for you, butchered meat and collected probably vegetables of some sort.
Interesting. Okay.
As well as a few knickknacks and various things. You see the corpses of a few people that look incredibly fresh in a way that implies to you that you're probably not the only people in this little challenge who had attempted
Apparently
to
Hash
tussle with
Browns
the
has
giant.
sent a few to their deaths.
Something happened where this killed a few people, and you find what looks to be, it's a bit dinged up, but the metal is holding up, and it could be reshaped with a little bit of work, a full breastplate.
Interesting.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm going to bring that out to my friend. Anything else?
Everything else is in pretty bad condition. The swords have been broken, bows have been snapped, strings have been cut, except you do find on one of the other adventurers' corpses what looks to be a crowbar.
Taking it.
Heck
Absolutely. Yeah. Crowbars are good to have. And this is coming from me, a person who knows a thing or two about crowbars.
Perfect. I'm going to grab the 2 horses and the cow on the way out.
Great, yeah. The horses look to be well enough fed, but they seem like they haven't been getting enough exercise, so they're a little wobbly, a little awkward trying to move at any speed, but
That's all right.
They can
We're going to
walk.
have to walk them back to the farm because we have the cow with us anyway.
Absolutely. So, presumably, you head on back to the farm.
I waved to the giant.
Bye.
Have a good day.
You too. I guess let me know if you need anything.
We'll try to leave you alone. That's going to take a minute.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely.
I like it.
Ugh. Those guys are really weird.
So, judging by the bodies inside, brother, how many adventurers would you say Hash Brown sent to their deaths?
I'm not sure if she sent them or it found them outside wandering. But there were at least 2 fresh corpses.
I like to think that she was giving offerings. I like to think that.
But while we're walking back here with these horses, let me take a look at those wounds of yours.
Oh, absolutely. Right. Yeah, I am really hurt.
Get in there. Patch that boy
Here we go. Why don't you gain back 9?
Okay.
It ain't nothing.
And then after that, why don't you gain back another 12?
That also definitively is not nothing.
All right. And
that is the best that I can do for you.
Are you hurt at all?
Not as well. I beat my legs up on the drop down, but I'll be okay.
Because I was going to do you, but if you're not, I'm just going to...
Yeah, use it on yourself. I'm only a little bit hurt.
I love it. It's beautiful.
I heal myself for another 10.
Beautiful. So presumably you are all keeping track of your own hit points.
I am.
Beautiful. And
that'll probably get you close to where you were at before.
Yeah, I'm getting close.
Good. And you make your way back to the farmstead, and you see our old friend. Not that you've been friends for long, but she is very old, probably at least in her mid to late 80s, which is very old for someone living in the woods. Brenda Hashbrowns, sitting outside drawing water from the well. Oh, welcome back. I see you found more than my cow.
We also found a couple of horses.
I thought that these horses would make the trip to town since we had to delay a little bit. We catch that lost time up and then some.
Absolutely.
I'm glad that you are well, Mrs. Hashbrowns. I'm glad that nothing befell you while we were gone. I was half expecting to find you scattered, smothered, and covered.
I'll be honest, I was half expecting not to hear back from you or my dear, dear cow, who is canonically unnamed. Not at all. But it's great to have you back. Come inside. I have prepared lunch. It is stuffed eggplants because I'm working with what I have.
And you decided to grow eggplants.
I mean, yeah, it's some of the only seeds that I can.
That's on you, Hashbrowns. Not on
I mean, that's definitely on me, but I assumed y'all wouldn't want potatoes again. I could do I could throw this out. I could just feed it to the cow.
You feed us. You should know the giant still lives.
He has promised to not come bother you again.
Ever.
Okay. I have a strange feeling that you're good for your word, and I'm gonna confirm that by making a little
We didn't nearly kill him.
So they rolled a 17, which is very high, which is pretty high for insight. So they have a feeling that you are being completely honest. Well, good. Maybe
we made him promise.
I'm sure. I don't know how good giants are with promises, but if he thinks I've got you at my back, then we're probably good. So I'll possibly go out there and see if we can start to rebuild our relationship. You know, after he stole my crops and stole my cow, and you almost killed him for me. Hopefully there will be a little bit less bad blood after all of the blood has been equalized.
You want to try this breastplate on and see if it fits you, man?
Yeah.
You have a feeling that if you spent probably an hour over an open, well-fed flame, you could probably
especially if I had that crowbar handy.
Especially if you had that crowbar handy, because that is solid, proper, high-carbon steel. There is a very large dent somewhere around the heart, and as you took it off of one of the corpses, you noticed that it looked like that section of their chest was caved in. Most likely they were killed by the breakage of
only lightly used.
Only lightly used. Yeah, so it can be bent back into place, and it would work.
I'll do the work
perfectly well.
Take an hour. Go ahead. We have horses. We'll make the difference up in time.
Yeah, it's better than what we got.
Absolutely. So you'll
need the protection.
You take the hour. You were relatively easily able to reshape it. I'm just gonna hand wave that because I really don't think we need to roll a bunch of skill checks for banging metal into shape. And it will function as a proper breastplate.
I'll take it.
Perfect.
And that'll raise my armor class to...
Your armor class will become 14 plus your dex modifier up to a +2. It is medium armor, which I believe you should be proficient in.
Yeah, paladin.
Paladin. Regardless of which one you took first, I think Hexblades or Hexblade Warlocks also get medium armor. So yeah, you're good to wear that. You take the breastplate. It fits surprisingly relatively well. It's almost like it was hand dropped for your usage. That's super weird. I don't know why that would happen.
Me either. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So, after a bit of work with that, you go and you speak to Brenda Hashbrowns, the queen of all queens. And she explains that the quickest way to get back to town would be to follow the road heading just east out of the farm, because that will curve north, and then you will find your way to a river.
What about this secret back way you were telling us about?
If you follow that river to the west, just for a little while, you will find another section of road that will lead to a small gatehouse. It is not very obvious. It is relatively well protected on all sides by trees, so it's a little harder to run into. And there's not a lot of traffic on that road a lot of the time, so it's not as well kept. It seems a little more overgrown than pretty much everything else, even though everything is a little bit overgrown.
All right.
Just cross across the bridge. It should be down. I would be careful. There's a lot. How do I put this? I don't usually head back into town very often. Because we often end up, we being myself and also myself, we end up seeing a lot of undead, most likely, tooling around in there.
Undead?
Huh.
Yes. They never seem to leave the town. They don't cross the bridge, even though they seem to be capable. They have stepped out to stop some wild animals or various other things from heading in at the time. But part of the reason that I am sending you in this direction is that it seems like I have only seen a maximum of 2 guards creatures at once at that gatehouse. So it seems to be the least well defended. I've spent a long time poking around seeing what was happening.
Okay.
Undead. My favorite.
Is that true?
No, like for real.
Huh. I guess you like what you like.
As far as hacking things apart, undead right at the top of my list.
Oh, absolutely. They just split right up.
They burn easy. No fuss, no muss.
I used to be quite a broad gal in my youth. I did a lot of lumberjacking before everything went poorly. So I could swing an axe, and I tore a few of them apart back in the day. But, you know, my joints, arthritis.
Oh, yeah, that's why I take joints, too.
Hang loose.
Well, let's saddle up and take these horses for a ride.
Absolutely. I think I might actually... Hold on. She goes back into the back room, and you hear, you know, the usual off-screen things of, like, breaking glass, metal things falling over like tin cans, a cat screeching, and then she comes out with...
and everything falling out.
Yeah, and then she comes back into the main room holding 2 old, worn, but seemingly holding together saddles.
Oh, thank you.
Look at you, full of surprises, Brenda Hashbrowns.
And they haven't matched the horses. Thank you.
They do. You know, I haven't lived out here on my own for 50 years without being able to take care of myself and surprise people.
Fair enough. Well, I have a feeling we're not going to need the horses so much once we get to the city, so they'll probably be hanging around that gatehouse if you decide to make a day trip out and want to have yourself a horse.
I'll pick around, see what happens, just to make sure that, you know, if you die, I can reclaim things. That's the real thing as well. I will get the horses and your corpses back. I will not use your corpses, except maybe for fertilizer, because you won't be using them. I'll do like burial rites and stuff. I'll do funerary rites. Your souls will pass correctly on to the next world, and then I will use you for fertilizer.
Your hash browns just got way more appealing to me for some reason, Brenda.
Cool. You know what? I'm glad we're cool. A lot of people get unkempt or a little what's the word? They get a little spooked when I bring that up. I've had a handful of travelers through the years.
Worry not, Mrs. Hash Browns. The ashes of the dead are but salt and pepper to brother.
This is so.
I'm not gonna judge you for cannibalism because I've got I just explained my secondhand cannibalism. But are you a cannibal?
Only in the secondhand fashion.
Cool. We're cool. We're great. I hope you liked the potatoes, which were fertilized with human corpses. Have a good day.
Bye.
Farewell, Hash Browns.
Nice old lady.
Hums to herself and strolls back into her little house with her bucket of water that she was drawing. And you continue onward. You had been informed, I didn't mention this, but it will probably be about approximately a 3-hour ride with your horses to get to the side thing, because you're still relatively deep into the surrounding farmland.
This is true, but we're going to make so much time up over the people on foot, it's not even going to be funny.
Absolutely. You have a relatively strong head start, because you found horses that were already trained, as opposed to looking for wild horses, which you did see a few people the night before on the on the seeing mirror, trying to tame wild horses and failing spectacularly. That is where one of the 12 deaths came from. They did get kicked in the chest by a horse, and that will kill you. I don't care what level you are. A hoof to the chest will crack any bone in the way.
Unless you're Superman.
Unless you're Superman.
And
Superman would have just flown to the end already and won.
Yeah.
It's true.
Oh, unless you're Christopher Reeve Superman.
Oh.
This is worth considering. So as you continue onward, pushing yourselves towards the stream, the lake, I would love it if you all would be so kind as to each, or just one of you, decide between yourselves, roll me a 12-sided die. Excuse me, I seem to have something in my eye. Whichever one of you. Reaching out of frame, grabbing the cup. A 5. It is going to be relatively clear riding. The sun is warm, but not too warm. And you are relatively saved from overheating, both by the speed of the horses, which seem to have, they were trotting around, eating properly when they were at Brenda Hash Brown's place with you, and seems to have loosened up their muscles a bit. As they trot quickly, the air is relatively cool, even though the sun is warm and there's a lot of tree cover, so you don't have to worry about, sunburn, overheating, usual things that most adventurers don't really consider. And you come up and you move forward and you find this very large river.
We will follow the river west.
Absolutely. And as you do along the road, which seems to follow the river, you notice a few ruins and a few various stone structures that seems to have been long abandoned, dotting alongside. A lot of rotten wood supports that seem to have collapsed in, various things like that as you push forward.
I like it.
Beautiful. And as you continue onward and onward, you find yourselves, and now I go back to the Roll20 thing, and I'm going to pull up this. You find what seems to be, after the river narrows a fair bit to what seems to be approximately 50 feet, ranging, give or take, 10 to 20 feet, various points. You find yourselves across a bridge from a gatehouse on your horses, and you are free to do what you will with
The small hidden by the trees gatehouse?
Yes. It's a little bit clearer once you get here. I believe I have... There we go. And now you should be drug over and able to see what I am referring to.
Ah,
See, as the road follows upward, the bridge, which seems to be stone and non-retractable, goes across, and you can see a large, obviously dropped, but rusted through gate that wouldn't be much good stopping anybody, but it would, mechanically speaking, count as 5 feet of difficult terrain. Because you kind of gotta squeeze through just a little bit.
sneak up and take a look. Leave the horses behind.
Absolutely. Would you like to leave them tied or let them roam as they will?
They should roam as they will, get to exercise, and then maybe Brenda Ashrounds can come pick them up later because we're not going to need them from here on out.
Absolutely. Love to hear it. So you hop off, and if you would like, you have the opportunity to roll me a stealth check to come see what's hip-hop happening.
Absolutely, I will definitely do so.
Let's see, did they... Unfortunately, you rolled really, really well, so I actually don't have to say unfortunately, even though there was a 21 that was opposed to you. Both of you are absolutely clear. So, go ahead.
Well, we're sneaky bastards.
You're both sneaky bastards, and I love to see it. So as you approach, I put your tokens down, so you should be able to move them freely. I would like both of you to also make me perception checks to see just what you notice as you approach and start to look around.
Okay, there's the perception one. Find it on here? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know, for a good
Pretty
measure.
sure I see it.
You probably see it. I will, wait to see if Christian also sees it before I start saying things. Christian,
Yeah, he sees it.
Christian also going to see it. My goodness. So the two of you are relatively easily able to see what look to be two gray-skinned humanoid figures walking behind the gate very intermittently. They look to be wearing old guards armor, relatively simple textiles with chain in places, and carrying what look to be halberds that are in relatively poor old condition, a little bit corroded, a little bit rusty, and crossbows at their hips.
I'm going to keep sneaking further forward.
Absolutely. We can hold on to your rolls we can hold on to your roll because they were both good enough, and nothing about this situation is much changing. Allow me to put one here, and then at this point, as you continue to move on, you have lost sight of the other one. But last you saw, they were somewhere up on the north side of the gatehouse.
Okay.
So you sneak up closer and closer. What would you like to do?
You said that rusted gate wouldn't actually stop anyone. It would just count as difficult terrain. So I'm
Correct.
assuming there's big enough gaps that I can shoot an arrow through it.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm definitely going to shoot one of those gray-skinned humanoids, I believe. I'm going to give the little hand signal to my compatriot here to make sure that he's okay with that before I fire.
I am, but I want to move up.
Beautiful. You move even closer, and you still seem to be out of light. At this point, let's see. Let me double check something, which is going to seem really silly. Just to make sure I am right. Yeah. At this point, the way that the sun, because you seem to be, somewhere on the northern hemisphere of the planet, that you are on, you are actually just barely in the shadow of this side wall of the gate, so you're a little bit better hidden.
Nice.
Yeah. So I will not require you to roll again, because you are moving very quietly and very carefully.
I'm going to shoot that guy.
Absolutely. And you know all of the dum-dum bonuses you get.
Yes, he is surprised, so it's an assassinate, because that's how that works.
That's how that works.
Do I have
It's
advantage?
also automatically a critical.
I have advantage on the attack roll.
Yep. Go ahead and make that attack roll.
So there's either going to be a 25 or
Well, it's certainly going to hit. I have a strange feeling.
Thought I hit the button the second time. Okay, there we go.
Oh.
I'll take the 25 over the 10.
That is going to connect. You slink right in between the links of chain.
All right, and so that makes it a critical hit and a sneak attack.
Yes. Yes, it does. So roll.
So
So
here
many
is
dice.
critical hit plus sneak attack damage for him.
Beautiful. And are you rolling all of those dice twice?
All the dice types? No, I did not. So I'm actually 2 dice short.
Yeah. Roll some more dice, just for
So we're
me.
23 for the start. And then add this to it. Oh, make it a 35 altogether.
All right, a 35. Now, just to check, I know that you, as, a good man of the cloth, have the ability to make some things magical. But there is no way in which that attack was magical, correct?
No, that is not a magical attack.
I didn't think so. So you're still...
Is sneak attack damage increased on a critical hit also, or does it?
Yes, all dice are doubled.
So it wasn't just 35. Add that to it also.
Great. So that is going to be 42.
Oh, I rolled it twice. Sorry.
Oh, you got 7s both times. It's going to be 42, which halved
42.
is going to be minus 21. So you get a solid hit on this thing. However, you can tell that something about the way it is, it doesn't seem to be moving as it responds in a way that you might expect from something that had just been shot in the gut. And it obviously doesn't seem to be as bothered as you might expect. So, is there anything you would like to do with the surprise round, Christian?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to blast him.
Very good. Roll some blast. And this will be magical, so I don't have to worry about resistances.
Oh, okay.
This is good. That's
Yeah?
good for you.
Okay, I'm just gonna see if I can just hit this button and then add 7 to it. Bang. Never mind, I rolled a 20.
Ooh!
So
Roll double those dice.
Yes.
You guys are ridiculous. You're rolling so good on hitting things. I love it so much.
Well, it's basically The Witcher plus a contract killer.
Yeah, no kidding.
The only thing we have is DPS.
Yeah, you're both murderers with a holy bent. And I love that. Mechanically speaking.
I like that we came up with it separately from each other too, and managed to have characters that these guys just make sense,
Yeah, I mean, I have this problem with Paladin every time where we accidentally end up with extremely complementary characters. Roll a...
Supposed to be double damage on that one.
Yeah.
Also, what does Agonizing Blast do?
Agonizing Blast. Let me check.
Yeah, I'm just going to roll all of it again. I'm sorry. This was completely... I could have done it
No,
like
it's
this.
totally fair. Agonizing Blast. You add your charisma modifier to the damage that it would do on a hit. So you get to add whatever your charisma modifier is to the damage, which normally you don't on spell attacks.
Oh, and yeah, I'm doing that already. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't missing something.
Of course. Did you put your Hexblade's curse on this ding-dang thing?
No, I did not.
All right, so... I'm gonna
So,
reduce that.
16 damage.
Great. Where, just out of curiosity, where are you getting the +7 from? Because I know you're getting a little bit of bonus from your charisma, which is probably like a +5.
Oh, you know what? I just rolled a regular attack roll for it. That's not how it's supposed to work. It's just supposed to be the charisma modifier, which is +4. So it's only it's only 13.
13's still pretty good, though. Yeah, you're good. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't
No, you're totally
wrong
right.
in your
I
right.
didn't even pay attention.
Yeah, I'm not assuming you're cheating. I just want to make sure everything's kosher.
I mean, technically, I was, just not on purpose.
Exactly, and that's great. I'm just gonna.
It wouldn't hold
Put
up
that
in a
over
court
here.
of law. I'd go to jail, right to jail.
You think I'm gonna call the cops on you? We're
You seem like a
friends.
narc.
First of all, how dare you? Let me
I know.
completely
That
clear
was so
that.
rude. I'm
Initiative
so sorry.
time. He is right. We should roll the
Yeah,
initiative.
now we're all gonna roll initiative.
Very well.
After the surprise round is continued, and there is the white and the other white. And I'm just
All
gonna,
white.
Let's see if I can make this work this time. Here we go.
let me just accidentally name drop what you're doing. Okay, that's fine. Hey, and that worked. So you are at a
26.
15. Great. And I'm going to open Brother Anahe. Click on you. Click on the initiative yet again. And I'm going to
Damn.
upgrade that from a 20 to a 26.
26.
Yes.
Damn, dude.
Beautiful.
I have a 9-point bonus to initiative.
Alertness or observant and a bunch of other shit.
I think I have both observant and alert as my 2.
Yeah.
Believe it. And if you just dip into Ranger, you can get advantage too. Be really stupid.
That would be pretty stupid.
That's
Be
next.
pretty stupid. Yeah. Beautiful. Oh, that's wisdom based too. Anyway, sorry. Moving on. Brother Anahe, you are going to move forward as this undead guardsman is totally screwed up. And they look at you with like the most pitiful, soulless eyes. They look really sad. But
Well,
it
because he
seems
hasn't
like
acted yet, it's still going to be advantage and a sneak attack because I'm an assassin.
Yep, you are an assassin. They still have not moved yet, so you get all of your dumb stuff.
So he gets another shot at advantage with sneak attack damage if I manage to hit him. Here's roll 1, roll 2. I'll take roll 2. It's a lot higher.
Roll 2 will in fact connect.
All right. Not a critical hit this time, or not a double damage hit this time. It's just a regular hit.
It's true. Just gonna, yeah. I have yeah, no. Describe how you killed this spooky zombie man.
I kind of like to think he looked up from the first shot and getting blasted, and he's undead, so most of his face is probably gone. So that arrow went into the nasal cavity that's just open because there's no nose.
Yeah, absolutely. The nose has been cut off.
And then
They're
just out the
wearing
back of the
open-faced helmets.
Right through the nose opening, out the back of the skull.
Yeah, that skull
unlike
opens in
in
the back.
movies when you always see the arrow sticking in the guy, if you shoot someone with an arrow, it actually goes through them and goes out the other side.
Quite often.
Arrows are nasty like that.
It's true.
If it'll go through a bull elk that weighs 900 pounds and out the other side, it will go through a human and male every time.
This is true.
You can if you can shoot a broadhead through an elk like that.
Too right.
That's how that works.
That's how that works. And
I don't ever see anybody in any movie I'm involved with the arrow still sticking out of them.
It's just gonna tear on through. So this one, surprise, has died.
Good.
Do that. Let me just make it official by putting a red X. I'm gonna delete that one from.
I would also, for my movement action, as a move action, up to my wisdom number of times per day, I know the location exactly of any undead that is within 60 feet of me.
Beautiful. And this is a bonus action, you said?
No, it is yeah, you're right. Correct. Sorry.
Great. This is within 60 feet, I believe. I'll do a little double check measuring. Pow, that is 30 feet away. You see this one right over here that seems to be
mostly
busting
because
out
I want to, as a free action, relate to my compatriot exactly where that undead is.
Yeah, absolutely. You point across. You point at the door, and if Barclay Knox just turns their head a little bit and leans over, they can see the open door where the undead is starting to push out of. So, moving on down, and I have to reorder it because I accidentally deleted the wrong one from initiative. We are down to Barclay Knox. What would you like to do?
Yeah, well, let me take a look at this real quick. Roll 20 map. Okay, we got this dude over here in this area, right?
Correct. We got this guy right over here.
Yep. So, but this gate here is difficult terrain, is that correct?
Yeah. Moving through that gate will cost double movement, which essentially means moving to here will cost 15 as opposed to 10.
Yeah, I still make it no problem. Okay, that's all I wanted to check.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to hit him with a greatsword really hard.
I like that. Now, is there... I'm looking through it really quickly just to double check. Because that's your bonded weapon, correct?
Yeah.
Great.
Should I be doing something different with it?
No, I'm checking. You're doing it absolutely correct. I'm just trying to figure out whether or not that makes it a magical attack. So you can go ahead and roll your attack and try and roll damage, and then I will be figuring out as you do that whether or not you get full damage or if it is reduced.
And is this some kind of zombie?
It is undead.
The weapon counts as magical for the purposes of overcoming resistance and immunity to non-magical attacks and damage.
You said that right as I found it. Hell yeah. So you're going to do full damage with this big old swipe.
I do enjoy that very well. I'm going
to... Get in there. Get in there. That's going to more than connect.
And while he's calculating the damage, did I detect any other undead within 60 feet?
That seems to be... Let me double check. Do a little thing. I believe you are... Yeah, you're within 60 feet of the entire gatehouse. That seems to be all you can see within range.
All right.
Seems like the information you were given was correct.
I will smite.
Who knew that my detect undead ability went handy?
Yeah.
Yeah, burning a spell slot to smite as well.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And your smite will do 1 additional die 8.
So it'll do 3 die 8 instead of 2?
Absolutely.
Because it's radiant damage.
Indeed. Not just that, but specifically, most undead just don't resist radiant damage or are weak to it. But specifically, the smite ability says that you get an extra die 8 if you hit a fiend or an undead with it.
Nice.
Yeah.
So 3d8 plus 2d6 plus a mess.
He's not cursed.
Correct. And smiting takes a bonus action, so you'd have to pick which one you were going to do.
Right.
Go with the smite. It's going to do more damage.
Yeah, I'm going with the smite. I'm not cursing
It
it.
is.
I just was trying to add in the damage. 23 damage.
23 damage, and that goes...
Oh, wait, hold on. That's it's 25 damage because those sword dice were both 2s.
Ah, yes.
That's true. Right, because you got great weapon fighting, which lets you not be bad. So we're going to go over here, and they normally have this amount. And then I got to click it again. Going to take about 20... Yeah, as you strike into this thing, you can tell that it is obviously rendered as, you go into this humongous hack right into the arm, right into the shoulder blade. Its off arm seems to just absolutely slough right off. And it looks definitively worse for wear, and definitively down an arm, but still up. So, moving forward from that, we are going to go to the white, the undead, which is going to reach forward and attempt to hit you with a little something, something.
I'm telling
However,
you
I rolled a natural 1, so
missed.
it is going... It missed so bad that it's going to reach forward, lurch for you, and you being a trained combatant, very easily just sidestep this clumsy movement this undead is making, and it falls completely prone as there is nothing to catch it as it fully sends its own body. And that is going to...
And that means James just killed it.
Maybe.
Basically. That is going to be the entire thing's turn.
30. There's my move action. I will use my bonus action to dash.
Beautiful. You can get right up in there with it.
And then I will stab it while it's down.
Indeed, and you will have advantage because you are within 5 feet and it is prone.
Oh, you poor dear.
It's an undead.
So it's either going to be a 24 or a 14. I'll take the 24.
24 is going to more than connect.
Coward.
Do some damage rolling here. Hang on. All right, here is that damage plus this damage.
Waiting on the second damage to show up, just because you know how stuff is. Slow sometimes.
All right.
All right.
It is 13 total.
13, which is going to be partially resisted, or entirely resisted, but only resisted and not removed. So it is only going to take 6. And the thing continues to stand as you go in with this wicked strike. And we bump on down to Barclay Knox.
Hey!
What's happening, Barclay? How you doing?
Well, I was just hitting this zombie, and I'm going to hit him again.
Oh, yeah, I think that makes sense. Why don't you just get on in there? You know this thing is looking like it is in pretty bad shape. I give you a number, but I won't. And I believe you are out of spell slots. Is that correct?
Wait.
I mean, as soon as you take a short rest, you'll get them back.
You got 2 and 1. Is that how it works?
Yeah, and you've used 3 smites, I believe. Or have you only used 2? Yeah,
No,
you've got
I've
2
used,
from...
I've used 3.
Cool. So the Paladin one will only come back on a long rest, but the 2 Warlock ones will come back on a short rest.
Actually, they all come back.
Do they all come back?
Yeah.
I'll be damned.
But we're not there yet.
We're not there yet. We are currently letting you hit something.
And
so go ahead
I am going to hit it. Or try to hit it. Do I get advantage also?
You do have advantage because it is currently prone. Because I got to roll 1 attack on these bastards. I got a natural 1, and I got to make that pay, you know?
Yeah. Oh, that's too bad. I'm so sorry.
You know what? The giant was dangerous. And you ain't out of the woods yet, so... I mean, you are actually out of the woods. You're entering town, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, why can't I make that attack do anything? Okay, that's fine. I'm just gonna roll dice like
the old-fashioned way?
Yep.
Terrible.
I'll just roll one of these and add 7. There you go, 22.
You're at advantage.
Yeah,
roll a second time. You might get a 20.
You might crit. It's worth a shot. Just in case. It's happened before today.
It has. That's why I was just assuming it wouldn't.
And it did not. And that 22 is more than going to connect.
Excellent. So now I get to roll other dice.
Mm-hmm.
Damage time.
Get on in there. See what happens. You know. Why not?
So it's 10.
That is going to be...
2.
Right, yes. So you do 10 damage, and this thing is somehow still standing. Obviously in terrible condition. But as an undead,
can I lay on hands? As a bonus action?
Is lay on hands a bonus action? This is an important question.
I have no idea. I have to go look it up.
I'm not sure that it is.
I'm also going to look it up. Whoever gets there first. Click on lay on hands. Come on.
Oh, damn. Wrong class. Okay. I'm really good at this.
Yeah. It is a standard action. Even though normally healing stuff doesn't do anything to undead or is helpful, that is something that I'm gonna absolutely home rule every time that healing magic.
Healing should totally hurt undead.
Yeah, if necrotic magic is for anything, it's for healing undead, right?
Yeah. Otherwise, why have it?
Why have it?
To make werewolves explode.
So
also to make werewolves explode. Don't forget that. That's very important.
Yeah. And I only did one thing. I don't know if there's anything else I can do.
You know, I would let you. Oh wait, no. Can
I move to flank?
You do still have your movement. You could take an acrobatics check or allow an attack of opportunity to get into flanking.
I wouldn't even have to move through. I don't have to move
this is a wall, so you would have to go through the doorway that the monster is standing at.
Acrobatics. Gotcha. Okay, let me see if I've got acrobatics. I don't think I do.
No, I would think you'd have a better option with him, being prone.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then I do nothing.
Great. That is the end of your turn, and we will click on forward to the beastie, who is going to spend half of their movement to stand up, very raggedly, and then go in and attempt to properly use its attack properly. And it is going to, one mo again, see how this goes, try to life drain Barclay Knox.
Why me
lurching
again?
forward, because you are directly in front of it,
Oh.
and have dealt the most damage to this one. However, this one rolled a 20.
That
So
hits me.
I will need you to make a DC 13 Constitution saving throw and take 7 necrotic damage. Both of these.
Wait, both of them?
You are both going to take 7 necrotic damage and have to make a DC 13 Constitution saving throw.
Okay. That's 20 plus my Constitution bonus, which is 13.
If it meets, it beats. You're absolutely
All right.
clear. You can feel the undead, unnatural energy start to seep into your bloodstream. And just like naturally with full blood control, you just fucking like flex, and then the blood that it touched kind of squirts out of the hole. Because that's how paladins work, and you can't tell me otherwise. They just have blood powers.
I'm in.
With its second attack, it is going to reach back and try and swing its longsword forward in a sort of like a low thrust towards the gut. Is a 16 going to connect?
Yeah, of course it is. So I did 17 damage?
It did 7 damage,
11
and
damage.
just now it did 5 slashing damage, so that is a total of 12 damage.
Yeah. All right.
However, there is nothing that I can properly do with my bonus action on this little creature. So we are going to move forward to Brother Anahe. This thing looks like an absolute piece of trash, but it is currently standing. What would you like to do?
Well, my friend's still in combat with me, so I'm still rolling at advantage.
2 right, 2 right.
So I'm going to sneak attack him again.
Technically, sneak attack, you don't get advantage without flanking if they're appropriate. You just get the 1 attack, but you do get your sneak attack damage if they're adjacent.
Gotcha.
However,
Is 17
is still going to connect, so you still get your sneak attack damage. I have played some rogues in my time.
Let's do some damage to this guy. Here's this part. And then add this part to it.
All right. Describe how you also destroy this beastie as well.
Well, while its arm is extended from the thrust into my partner, I'm going to reach forward with my free hand because I'm fighting with a kitchen knife at this point. Grab onto that phony forearm and then pull him straight out the door with the knife going through the sternum bone.
Yeah, absolutely. You crack that sternum and pierce something. You're not entirely sure what, but you have obviously somewhere in just the raw amount of mechanical damage that you have dealt to the actual infrastructure of this creature's body, you have destroyed it, and it falls to the ground completely limp.
Nice.
So, I think that this would be a good time to take a 10-minute break.
All right.
Given we're at 7:30, and I will return to you with the loot that you were able to collect off of these bodies and off of everything else in this gatehouse.
I realize I have zero idea how to do a break without ending the broadcast.
Oh my!
Absolutely.
You don't have a "We'll be right back" thing to put up?
Do not have a "We'll be right back" thing for this.
I could put a
really think about that.
Here's what you do. You get a piece of paper. You get a magic marker. You say, "We'll be right back," and you hold it up in front of the screen for as long as you can.
Absolutely. Let's see. I can put my bandana around my camera so no one can see what's going on. You can
turn off your cams and mics down at the bottom if you need to, and just come back.
You know what? I will. Yeah. Let's reconvene at 7:45. Sound good?
All right. See you guys at 7:45. We'll be right back, everybody. We'll see you in a minute.
We'll be right back.
Hey,
Hey,
we're almost back. We one more minute of break, class.
We are almost back. You'll have to excuse me. I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep eating during this break.
oh,
I haven't eaten very much
I
today.
guess we're just gonna listen and watch. That's weird. Mm.
I hate that actually. That can wait. I'm sorry. I didn't realize how exceptionally how bad that was from the low angle that I've got to run. But I will wait a moment to do the recap. All right. Well, it looks to me like we're back at 7:45.
Yeah,
Does that seem right to everybody? Does that look what the time is?
Then we say welcome back.
All right, great. Welcome back to the second episode of Crawl Royale, which we've been running this week and last week on Fridays, and presumably we'll be back next week yet again.
Yes, we will. Oh, wait, next week is ZoeCon, so they'll
That's
probably
right.
be doing events during that hour block, so I don't want to say that we'll be here for sure next week. There
Right.
might be something else streaming for Zoe, or Christian might be prior booked because Friday is a busy day at ZoeCon, which ZoeCon next Friday and Saturday, guys.
Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday.
Make sure you social distance show up for it.
Yes.
Right, yeah. But at the very least, we will be back after that because we're not going to wrap up today. We've got at least one more episode's worth of content here before everything is cleaned up. And moving on, just to do a quick recap of what happened today. You all got, previously dropped into this old dilapidated town, told to kill a bunch of other people to get to a portal at the center of town just to make sure that everything clears up. And you will be clear to win a big cash money prize of, I believe, 3,000 platinum pieces. I have my
It's a
notes
big game
open.
show.
It's a game show. It's a big old battle royale game show. And moving on from there, you killed 2 other people, moved on forward, and were able to relatively quickly be able to find your way, got some food, killed a werewolf, found an old lady who needed your help because a giant stole her cow. So today, you killed that giant. Not quite. You didn't quite kill it. You brokered peace by beating the ever-loving crap out of it. Some aggressive diplomacy. And were able to get that cow back, as well as a handful of horses. You got that back. You moved on towards the town. You killed a handful of undead guardsfolk. And were relatively simply able to just now move on into town after I give you the proper amount of loot and things that you now get. Presuming that you are going through and searching through the guardhouse for a moment.
And
Yeah,
the 2 dead guys. Yeah.
Absolutely. So from the 2 dead people, you found 2 suits of chain armor, which is heavy and will set your armor class to a solid 16, regardless of your dexterity modifier, but does give some downsides to people who are trying to sneak around and do such things.
I can go without it.
Absolutely. There's no necessary reason that you do need to have it, but it is there should you want it. You also found what looked to be 2 halberds that are relatively old and in bad condition, but it seems like they're in bad condition because they've been getting solid use for the last 50 years. They've actually been kept. It seems like whatever situation has taken over the undead guards people of this town has still led them to keep up their weapons. Looks like 1 short sword on each of them as well.
Ooh, I want one of those.
2 more heavy crossbows, as well as what seems to be approximately 58 crossbow bolts and 3 arrows for any bows that you might be carrying, as well as various rotted rations, other things that are not in usable capacity.
All right. What do you want?
I'm just gonna take some arrows and one of the short swords. I'm no good on anything else.
Do you want both of the short swords?
I don't 2-weapon fight, so
Okay, I didn't know. I'm just asking.
I mean I could, but I don't.
All right, I'll take one of the short swords as a backup. I've already got a bow, right?
Correct.
Yep.
You both have short bows.
Oh, a crossbow would be better, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it is a heavy crossbow, so it will do a die 10, but you can only make one attack in a round.
That's okay. That's all I can do right now. Anyway, I will grab a crossbow and some bolts. Anything that we're not taking with us, I'm tossing into the river just in case one of the other groups decides it needs to come upon some weapons at this guardhouse.
Absolutely.
Agreed. We are not arming our competition.
Not on purpose, anyway.
Yeah. Absolutely. I love to see it. So you toss a various many things into the river, and assuming that you are good moving on here, you are able to move on into town as you would like.
We are going completely as stealthy as possible from here on out. I assume the entire town is occupied by undead.
Makes sense to me.
Absolutely. Would the both of you be so kind as to make me stealth checks?
Yeah.
Yeah. As you move up and continue forward, you see a exceedingly large, multiple mile wide town inside of this large, tall, probably at least 50-foot high stone wall surrounding the entire thing. And you've been able to see it a few times, depending on where you were moving forward through the woods and the farmlands, but it is much more obvious now. You can see the actual fortress that is your destination, standing tall, riding high in the sun, on a hill in the center of this town. And you know that that is your destination.
Well, I recommend we make some progress and then take ourselves. Well, I think we should take a short rest here
Yeah.
and then make a progress and then make a long rest before we actually take on the fortress itself.
Absolutely. So you are relatively easily able to take a short rest here. You get back all of the various things that you get back on a short rest, and may also spend as many hit dice as you feel is appropriate.
I think you should spend some, my friend.
Spend
Indeed.
some?
Yeah, the way it works is when you take a short rest, you can roll as many hit dice as you want to get things back, and you only get those back on a long rest. But rolling a hit dice is based on your class, based on, you have 2, so you have, I think, Christian, you are 3 levels in Warlock and 2 levels in Wizard, or 2 levels in Paladin, is that correct?
That is correct.
Yes.
Right. So you can you can roll any number of 2 die 10 and 3 die 8, and then every dice you roll, you also add your Constitution, and you will get that many hit points back.
I am using 1 myself.
Great. Absolutely. You get 7 life back, and if that brings you up to full, that brings you back up to full.
What do I roll?
How low are you?
How what?
How far down in hit points are you?
I'm down 20.
Roll all your warlock ones that you can guarantee to get. Or what's your Constitution bonus?
My Constitution bonus is 3.
3.
Great. So you can, if you want to roll all 3 of your warlock hit dice, you can get back 3 die 8 plus 9 total hit points during this short rest.
Or do 2 and do 2d8 plus 6.
Yeah, also that.
Or do the 2 paladins and do 2d10 plus 6.
Correct.
Let's try that.
Yeah. You have to decide before you roll everything, though, exactly what you're spending. You can't keep going until things make what you want. Because balance. I believe that's how it works, Raw. Great. Yeah, 17 hit points back. You are back up strong. You have your warlock spell. You have your warlock spell back, and you have the ability to move forward.
Right.
All right, we already got those stealth checks out of the way. Let's just use those.
And
Yeah.
I hadn't actually used any of my paladin spells because I was just burning my warlock slots for them because you can do that.
Right. Yeah. Fair enough. You can burn any spell slots that you have available to you.
So I didn't actually use any of my my paladin slots. I just used my warlock slots.
Awesome.
Very cool and very good. You are back up to full on there.
Goody.
And as you push onward in towards where this town is, you are relatively easily able to see that there is a large, broken down gate that seems to be, as far as you can tell, currently unmanned. on this tall 50-foot wall, following the road from the gatehouse that you were going into the town proper.
All right. Like I said, we're going to be as stealthy as possible. Use these buildings for cover. We're trying not to make noise and not get seen.
I already rolled my stealth.
As did I.
You did. You got a 19, James, and you got a 16, Christian.
Yeah.
And these things that you may be dodging are not actively trying to notice you. They are simply milling around, going about their undead business, or whatever other kind of business may be around that you have not yet noticed. So that is going to pass on all of their passive perception scores.
Excellent.
Yeah. You push forward through this gate and find yourselves in the town. It is very, very densely packed. You do see a handful of undead every now and then milling around, various kinds. Town guards like those you saw before, merchants, just relatively other working folk who would be pretty easy to deal with if anything happened. And you push on forward. Now, can I get the both of you to roll a perception check as you continue to quietly and quickly move your way through the town?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It is going to be a 20 from James and an 11 from Christian. Christian will not notice this, but James, you notice as you continue to move on forward, you've probably been walking through town at your relatively slow, keeping it quiet pace for around an hour at this point, pushing forward and forward. And you seem to see what looks like a large Gothic mansion of sorts, or some kind of very well-kept house that seems to have light pouring out of the windows.
Interesting.
What would you like to do about these things?
I'm going to point it out to my companion.
What's that there?
Look at that. Somebody's home.
All right.
We could take a look or we could bypass it.
I'll
But if
peek.
there's- I have a feeling there might be something nice in there and we might be able to need it before we get to the end.
Yeah, let's peek.
Let's peek. All right. Nothing like a little breaking and entering.
Absolutely. You go in and you peek. Are you trying to peek through the windows, or are you trying to enter through like another layer or a different sort of point of access?
We're going to scout out the grounds real quick first. Do a quick loop around the house.
Great. Both of you, if you would be so kind, roll me investigation checks, because this is a little bit more knuckle down than what you had been doing before.
Oh my. Not super good, no.
Me either.
All right. Either way, with a 12, James, I would be able to tell you that you do actually notice and come with a few close calls to some people, some once people, wandering through the grounds surrounding this large manse, who seem to also be undead, but they are currently tending the garden and making sure that, various flower beds and other sorts of things are well kept. There is one sort of zombie trimming a topiary, and you come close, and at one point, I'm going to do a little... That's with a natural one. You notice one come closer and closer to you, and it almost seems to... You take notice of it well before, but you kind of find yourself locked into a position where you are hiding inside of this bush, where this thing moves closer and closer and starts to trim. And you are obviously very easily noticed by whatever this is, but it does not seem to pay any attention to you while you are inside of the grounds. It does not seem to mind.
It's just here to trim the bush.
Just here to trim the bush.
Interesting.
Nice.
Any other entrances we can see besides the front door?
There does seem to be a back door, and there are multiple balconies that if you could find a way to get up to, you would relatively easily be able to sort of, pop a lock on the door or the window and just scamper on in.
I love to scamper.
Let's go for a second floor entrance then, I think.
Absolutely. Make me an athletics check to try and scamper on in, unless there is something on your person that you think would be helpful.
Obviously, the crowbar.
You have the crowbar. Yeah, I mean, that will definitely allow you to get
I'm going
through
to use
thing.
the hook and then pull myself up with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Make that check with advantage, and then you can help Barclay Knox in. Did you have something to add, Christian?
Nah. I liked that.
Cool.
I have a hard
like
time with it. Why don't you give it a shot?
Yeah, you go for that pull-up, and, well, you know, you're not terrible at pull-ups, all things considered. You're a little lithe, you're a little bit of an average build. You know, you are carrying a relatively
Muscles is
reasonable
not
amount
my
of gear with
strong
you.
suit.
Yeah, also holding on to the slim part of a crowbar and pulling up by the hook is not an easy thing to maintain a grip on.
You give it a shot and see if you can help me out.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You, like, do a kick-ass fucking front flip and just slide right on over the rail of the balcony, and then lower your hand and are really easily able to pull Brother Anahe up really quickly. And you are up here. And there is a seemingly locked glass door, but all of the glass has been broken out. It seems to have been swept up. You don't see glass on the inside or the outside. But there is no glass in this large sort of framework door.
I'll reach through the broken glass and unlock the door.
Pop comes right on open. And as you go in, you enter what seems to be some sort of study or some sort of sitting room. There are lots of bookshelves, a coffee table of sorts, and various different chairs sitting around, some desks. It looks like there is a decanter of probably some sort of liquor on one of the tables. It looks to be a study that someone is currently living in. It is obviously well dusted and well kept.
I'm
You
gonna
don't
sniff.
see anyone in here, though.
I'm gonna sniff the liquor. Is it actually liquor?
Yeah. You can tell it's liquor, but if you would be so kind as to make me a... Oh, hell, I don't know. Either investigation or... What do you think would be right for rolling to see what kind of liquor it is? What skill do you think is correct? Nature? Medicine?
Investigation, I think probably.
Survival?
Survival might be possible. Investigation makes the most sense.
Roll what you think would be appropriate for your character trying to sniff the liquor and see what it smells like. With a 17, that's brandy. And it ain't bad.
Brandy?
Brandy.
It's a fine girl.
I have a sip, pass the bottle to my friend.
It's not bad.
I also take a sip.
What are both of your passive perceptions?
My passive perception is ungodly. It's
That's right.
19.
Yours is like stupid, right?
Right.
Yeah.
19, and I cannot be surprised as long as I'm conscious.
Yeah, absolutely.
16 is mine.
Great. Either way, I rolled a 4, so it doesn't matter what I'm adding to it with numbers like that. You both hear somebody tromping up the stairs and approaching the door.
Oh.
We should get ready for ambush. It's like we did with this. Alright, you wait behind the door. I'll have an arrow drawn back. They walk through. I shoot them.
Yep. On it.
All right.
I don't even think we have that conversation. I think we just move into position.
Just a nod. The conversation takes place with a nod.
Yeah. Well, you know, Barkley doesn't talk a whole lot, so
Yeah, of course.
most of what he says is grunting and nodding.
I love it. So there are 2 sharp knocks on the door, and then the door opens. You see a figure in what looks to be a well-kept but a little oversized black robe come in and start to sort of look around. Hello? Is there someone in here? Hello?
I'm sorry about this guy's luck.
He seems like a non-com. Is he armed?
There does seem to be a dagger at the hip, but that's it. Dagger at the hip and what looks to be some sort of pouch also on the same belt on the outside of the robe.
With the arrow pointed at him, I say, "Don't move and be very quiet."
Great. Mm-hmm. Roll me an intimidation check just for fun.
Checking on my character sheet here. Give me a second.
Absolutely. You know?
Well, my friend steps out of the shadows behind him.
Exactly.
He's way more intimidating than I am.
Yeah, they don't seem initially not terribly worried about the arrow pointed at them, and then there's just like this small point of something, probably a very big sword, just resting on the base of their back. We're cool. I am totally cool. Welcome to my house. Please stop drinking my brandy before I give it to you.
Is he undead?
If you're going to use the action to check, no, that person seems to be a completely living humanoid figure.
Pat him down.
You can tell. Roll me an investigation check. I just want to see how into the weeds I should get with this. You'll have advantage because they're really not resisting right now.
All right, just roll 1.
19. That's
I'll
pretty
take
into
19.
the weeds. Yeah, absolutely. You can tell a few things. 1, there's nothing hidden underneath the robe. 2, other than the belt with the dagger and the pouch on it, they don't seem to be carrying anything as far as you can tell. And 3, definitely not wearing any undergarments.
See, that was the first thing I noticed.
I'm sorry. You have broken into my house and you're patting me down? I'm not gonna say you shouldn't. Don't even worry about it. I'm just saying this is not usually how things go down.
Yeah, this isn't really usual circumstances.
Not normal house guest protocol.
Right.
I mean, what is normal house guest protocol for a guy that has zombies trimming the hedges?
I don't really
taking our shoes off at the window ledge before we broke in.
That would have been nice, but that's totally fine. I have somebody to sweep that.
Necromancer?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm working on it.
Gotcha.
These aren't yours?
They are now. As you get a closer look at this figure, they look like they are definitely elven. Probably a high elf would be your best guess. And you would know, just for some setting specific stuff, elves mature at the same age that humans do, but they live a lot longer after they get to adulthood. And this elf looks like you would probably guess somewhere around 25. So either they got here or something after whatever calamity happened to this place happened. They're mine now.
Gotcha.
I'm working on that. I'm
Okay.
sure you noticed the I'm gonna say feral ones, even if that's a little rude outside.
No, that's applicable. What's your story?
I was an apprentice to somebody who lived here quite a while ago, about 20 years ago and long before. And they, oh God, that's sharp. And they died a while ago. They were a necromancer, and I was interested in learning the practice, and they already had sort of a whole thing set up here. They had managed to turn the entire sort of town after it had fallen apart. They didn't kill anybody.
Okay.
They found this town, and everybody was already dead, and they used all of the corpses. But they died around 20 years ago, and we had an agreement that, they would not be brought back, and if I died first for some reason, I would not be brought back, and I was sort of left in charge.
Okay. Fair enough.
Everyone, there's a lot of corpses here wandering around.
Yeah.
And I only have about the power to maintain the house staff.
Gotcha.
So everything around town is sort of just left on autopilot.
That makes sense.
What
lives in the fortress?
I don't go up there. I've sent a few members of my, auxiliary group. I had some guards or whatever for the manse. And I sent them up to see what was going on, and none of them were ever able to come back.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, it's a pretty spooky place. Is that where you're headed?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're you're not going to believe this, but I'm going to tell you, we're in a game show, and we have to reach the fortress before the other teams reach there, or kill them in the process. And they dropped us here with no equipment, and it's kind of a winner-take-all survival of the fittest for the teams. And so we're trying to outfit ourselves and make it to that portal of the fortress and not die.
Okay.
Really, we don't have any particular problem with you or your undead, and I'm not going to kill you or rob you today.
Great. I love that. I could offer you some help if you could offer me some help. And this is not like a payment. I literally need you to do this thing for me if I can help you. There is a relic that my old master left behind that some people who seem to have been in the same sort of situation as you beat me up on the streets and took from me.
Oh.
It's in a small sort of magical puzzle box.
Okay.
And if I were able to get that back, I would be able to sort of keep and maintain control of the whole city's worth of undead. So if you can do me the kindness of tracking down these people and bringing the puzzle box back and maybe giving me a little help in opening it, I could give you sort of a hall pass, as it were, to get through all of the undead.
Gonna need one little thing more than the hall pass.
Right, yeah. The undead wouldn't give you any trouble. They would give other people trouble to keep them off your tail. And also,
to undead?
So not that. They would know that you were there, and they would not care. But, if maybe something went poorly, they might be able to give you a hand. And I could send you a certain number of them, maybe into the castle as fodder or something like that. And because I can tell that is obviously not as much as you would like. I have some relics that I can offer you.
You got yourself a deal.
Great.
Where'd you see these guys
give
last?
You. I think last time they reach out. They go out to the balcony and look up. So it's about like 3 p.m. now. No, like 4 p.m. now, and they robbed me at noon.
Okay.
You guys really came like back to back here. I overheard them talking about going somewhere called like the Craymore Tavern. I think they were going to go see if there was any alcohol worth keeping.
You would never know where that is.
Yeah, actually, it's a fair enough place. It's in relatively good condition, even though everything is dead here. If you follow sort of that road and stay on the main road, going sort of like the eastward road. It's east right now, but it'll curve as you get towards the center of town. It's a big circular city. There should be a big sign. It's only like a 15-minute walk away. I think they were looking for somewhere to sleep, as best as I can tell, because it seemed like, they had red in their eyes and everything. It looked like they were about to pass out. They had been going for a hot minute.
Yeah, they tried to beat everybody here, obviously.
Yeah, that's guessed on the information based on the information that you have given me. That would be a good guess.
All right.
Here, let me let me give you this stuff beforehand, because I think that's going to be better for all of us, because if you are able to be successful at this little job, that would be good.
I like
You
it.
know?
And if we fail, you can just send some of your corpses to collect our things.
This is also true. I actually hadn't considered that, but that's a good point.
I always consider that.
You're not a necromancer too, are you? You seem like you know what you're doing with the dead. Both of you, really.
No.
I'm more concerned with the living and making them.
Great. I feel like when all this is over, we could have a fantastic working relationship. But I feel like that's for a later time.
Agreed.
So, come with me. We're gonna go into the basement. I'm telling you right now. We're gonna get some stuff from the basement.
Sounds
and
good.
then you're gonna go deal with a little problem for me. Sound good?
All right.
Yes.
Great. So you get taken from the second floor, going down this long circular spiral staircase, going down and down and down into the basement level, where you can see that there is this old vault of a numerous amount of objects that, some you can make out, some you can't. Most of them seem to be covered in some sort of variety. There is a large locked door that, they bring out like 9 keys and unlock to open. And that was one of the things in their little pouch. And as they open it, they say, all right, okay. I did sort of make an oath, so I really shouldn't be giving you any of this stuff, but I'm going to give you both one thing. Is that cool?
Yes.
Yes. Agreed.
Absolutely. All right. Let me see here. Do you, what sort of like weapons or objects are you comfortable with, or do you like to use? Yeah, just to make sure I give you guys the right thing. I want to make sure this is good.
I like big things.
A friend here could use some better protection. That breastplate's okay, but anything that could help keep him alive in a fight is good. He tends to go into the front.
I do all right.
Okay. All right. Let me. And what are you looking for?
Well, honestly, the only thing that really comes to mind that I really need right now, I'm sure there's other stuff I could use, but I have really short thieves' tools at the moment.
Oh, I've got some. Oh, wait. I wish I had some.
Yes.
Where? Okay.
I would have some.
Because they dropped this with no equipment, and I haven't had any. But as far as anything you got down here, I'm really open.
Okay. All right. Let me take a look for the two of you. All right. So for you, and they point at our good brother Anahe. After a little bit of digging and opening sacks and like pulling through this, and they pull up what looks to be a dagger of some sort with some sort of very intricate overlay or intricate inlay,
Like
scratched or carved in. If you take this, you see there's a little. If you twist the pommel 180 degrees and then pull it out, and they demonstrate it to you, and the entire blade sort of pops open with a various number of compartments. This will not only be incredulously sharp and very good for what you're trying to do, but will also function as a set of thieves' tools. So for reference, you have a +1 dagger, which is considered magical, which also, as a bonus action, you can change to and from a set of thieves' tools.
Nice.
Which will also have a +1 enhancement bonus on things that you might be doing with thieves' tools, such as, opening locked doors.
That's amazing.
And then for you, tall one, I don't know what your name is. You put the sword at my back?
Barkley.
Barclay. I had a feeling. Mm-hmm.
I can
Here,
tell.
I've got a few options.
I like options.
Options are good. So I've either got this, which it's a pretty basic magical enchantment, and they kind of drag this long, approximately like 6 foot by 2 foot wide bag out and say, this is a set of magically resizing plate, so it'll just fit and work as full plate armor. That's really the only magic on it. Or I can give you a big magic sword. It's up to you. I mean, I can also describe the... Hold on. Let me describe the sword. Let me give you some proper information on this. And they go back into the thing.
You said
and
big.
It's pretty big. They go back into the sort of area, and they find this... Can't think of the word. Like bathroom glass, where it can filter light through, but it's sort of like modeled to the point where it won't actually give you anything specific.
Right.
They open the door there with, 2 more of the keys on their key ring, which is absolutely bulging. And there is this giant flamberged Zweihander, which, has the completely wavy blade. And they pull it out and say, all right, so this, and you can tell it is a solid 6 feet long. This is, I didn't really get a proper information, and he didn't really leave behind a he didn't really give an inventory when he died. He sort of had it all memorized. This is a proper battlefield weapon that I think was used by some like baron or king or something. And if you grip it, properly with both hands and squeeze and say like some command word, I think it's, hold on, let me check my notes. And they reach out and pull out a small handbook and say, the passcode is hotcakes. And as they say that, the entire blade of this thing erupts into flame. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'll take that. That's
Great.
The one.
Cakes it is.
All right, hotcakes for you. Thieves' tools, so you can open a great number of things. Very good. If you come back with the thing, I can make you absolutely clear, and then the zombies won't give you trouble, and you can move onward. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Again, 15-minute walk down that road to the east, and then you should see a big sign with the name of the thing on it. Great.
Unfortunately, I memorize everything that you tell me.
Okay. That seems like a good skill. I'll send a couple of my retinue with you just to make sure that none of the undead on the street are bothered by you.
Like
Fair enough.
bodyguards?
Sort of. They're not...
More like cover.
Yeah, they're going to be gardeners, because that's really all I can spare right now after I've been mugged 1.5 times today.
But if we travel with the undead will think we're undead.
Absolutely. They'll sort of be blinded by the total immersion of you and the other ones. So, I will tell these ones to follow you, but they will not enter any building with you, because I really would prefer if my gardeners did not get
They
killed.
would just get in the way.
They really would. They were absolutely dog shit at repelling the previous burglars, who were much less friendly than you all were.
We're probably going to kill them in their sleep.
If that's what works, that's what works. Beautiful. So, you are also...
I'm just greedily clutching the sword in my hands. Like,
it feels...
I'm trying to look so
good.
Cool about it, though.
I mean, if you, inspect it, you can tell that this thing is incredibly well made. Both of you can tell your weapons are incredibly well made. James, the dagger that you had been given is obviously, it's a bit thicker than the daggers that you are used to wielding, but you can tell just from, the weight of it and the edge, it's incredibly well kept, and it's no heavier than a normal dagger would be.
Oh, it's perfect.
And Christian, you can tell even with the full 6-foot length of the sword, it is so very well crafted, and the distal taper is perfectly engineered so that it swings almost as smoothly as the same greatsword that you would bond to. And you, of course, have the opportunity to bond to this greatsword instead.
Yeah. Sorry, baby, this has been fun, but hotcakes, you know what I'm saying?
The thing bursts into flames.
Yeah.
So,
how do I stop this? This is great. Hotcakes.
Oh, that'll run out in about 20 seconds.
I love it.
Yeah. So, the way that greatsword works, just for reference, so you can write it down, the flamberge, The way that it works is it functions as a normal magical greatsword, but you can spend a spell slot to cause it to erupt into flame as a free action, and it will deal 1d4 additional flame damage for the next 3 rounds until it burns out.
Okay, so magical greatsword.
Magical greatsword.
That's as far as I got.
That's fair. As a free action, you can expend a spell slot to make it erupt into flames, and it will deal 1d6 additional fire damage for the next 3 rounds.
Spell slot. That's what I needed to know. Thank you.
Yeah. Regardless of the level. So you have that first level paladin spell slot that you can just throw away on that right now, if I remember correctly.
Well, I've got a bond with this thing too, don't I?
You do. So you can, throw it into your hammer space or whatever.
Yeah. I'm doing it.
Just good luck.
I've always wanted a character with a buster sword, and I think this totally qualifies.
Yeah. It's about the same length, but it's much more reasonably built.
Right.
Let's go assassinate the competition.
Good luck. Go get them. Don't die. And if you do, I do have eminent domain over your corpses. Much like the last NPC you ran into. We all just want your bodies.
Just don't make me a gardener. That's my one request.
No, absolutely not. You'd be doing like odd jobs and stuff. Like murderous odd jobs.
Odd jobs.
All right. We got a good deal.
Beautiful. You might be the butler. And after that, the doors slam shut behind you. And you are left to your own devices with 3 various gardening zombies who just sort of, loaf around and are following you in a triangular position so that they sort of surround the 2 of you if you stand close together.
All right. We're going to make our way to the Claymore.
Yeah.
Great.
Mac, I gotta tell you, I've killed a lot of people in a lot of places. That is the first necromancer that I've run into in my career that was both very polite and gave me a big fuck off sword.
Yeah. Usually there's more crying and whimpering from wizards.
I know. That
There
was
was-
great.
To be fair, there was a little whimpering.
There was some whimpering. I'm just saying, if my goddess didn't despise the undead in all its forms, I might even consider letting this guy live for a while.
I've got to admit, I'm not particularly a big fan of the undead, but I'm not all that opposed to them either.
They're gross. Things are supposed to die and then be dead.
Eh,
I mean, that's my code.
That's the code.
I'm just more concerned with getting them dead. What happens after is after.
Beautiful. So, presumably you make this conversation as you walk. None of the 3 undead gardeners really seem to give a good goddamn. And you push forward, and you find very clearly a large tavern with a broken sign that seems, with just a tiny bit of guesswork, to say what you were expecting to see.
Let's slip inside like ghosts and find these guys.
Beautiful. Same sort of deal. Broken windows. But if you go forward and do attempt to check the door, it is definitely locked. And the windows are latticed in a way. They're obviously not supposed to open very much. And they are too small to slip into. So you will either have to go through the door, the front door or the back door, or you will have to break one of the windows, like grid.
I think we should break in the back door. I've got thieves' tools. I can pick the lock.
Absolutely.
Do it.
Do it. So you move over to the back door, which you are relatively easily able to do. And you do find the locked door. And it seems to be, a relatively theoretically complex, like keyhole style lock, which is something that you are in a position to unlock. So, would you be so kind as to roll me a dexterity-based proficiency check with your thieves' tools, with the extra +1 from the magical knife?
Got it. Let's see.
I want the knife.
I think this is it.
With a 15, that is actually just going to meet it. So you are able to relatively easily and quietly pop open that lock, and you hear that very, very subtle click that you had been waiting for.
Really like these.
It's really, really good.
This is a great knife.
This is
Great.
a great job. Do you know I almost became a baker?
You're telling me I was nearly a fishmonger myself.
Yeah. Death Priest Assassin is the way to go for you, I think.
Yeah, you seem to be rocking it.
Fishmonger doesn't suit your face. I wouldn't buy fish from you.
Good point.
That'd be good. One of the one of the zombies just sort of like, well, that'd be weird. You don't seem like a fish person.
I know, right? All right. Fred, Bill, Steve, you three wait here. We're going to go in.
Those are good names. We do not have names anymore.
You know, we're kind of trying to do a quiet thing, Steve.
I get you.
But you don't, because you're still with the, It's fine. Just keep it down.
They pull out a needle and thread and sew their lips closed really quickly.
Okay, I think. No human intelligence, but still manages to be a smartass. This is why I hate the undead.
I'm beginning to understand your hatred.
Plus,
all right, quiet is nice. We got to slip inside this building.
So, would the two of you yet again make me stealth checks?
I think we will.
Beautiful. That's what I like to hear.
It was then that the dice turned on him. Okay, where is the character? Here we go.
So is that 24 for your stealth, James?
Yes, it is.
That is just stupid.
Well, let me
love it.
check the passive perception, which is also negatively affected by the fact that, as it just so happens, the both of them are asleep. It's not the one. I am looking for this one, which has a way lower than that, and this one, which is better, but still definitively lower than the 15. So, as you push on inward through the back door and sort of very slowly start to creep your way through the kitchen, and peer over the bar room, or the little window into the kitchen from behind the bar where orders would be served and given, you see two people asleep on some of the sort of more rectangular tables that are lining the walls of this tavern. One of them appears to be very large, from what little light is creeping in through the windows. Gray-skinned with some sort of blue markings all over their entire flesh. Probably, from your guess from this distance, around 7.5 feet tall and built like a damn ox. And the other one, a very lithe, smaller, approximately like 5'3" human man as well, who seems to, short, slightly curly brown hair, sleeping like a baby, thumb actively in mouth. And the two of them are asleep. And you see their packs and various other things consolidated on one of the round tables right smack dab in the middle of this whole place.
Weapons?
They are next to them. You can tell that it looks like the larger I'm just going to name drop it because it doesn't matter. The larger Goliath, one of the two of them, seems to have what looks like some sort of exceedingly large axe, probably around 5 feet long, large head, single bearded, because I like to keep it reasonable in my fantasy. If you can't swing it for real, you can't swing it in the game.
Where did he get that huge axe?
And the other one is
Pick
currently
that up in the forest.
sleeping next to what looks like another short sword similar to yours. Probably same design, like standard town guard contract, most likely that you got yours from, as well as what looks like a really shitty little homemade banjo-esque instrument.
Oh.
You want the big one or the little one?
I guess the little one? I mean,
all right. We're going to slip up to our intended victims. I plan on doing 2 things before I stab him.
Absolutely. What are you looking at?
Thing number 1, most important, I'm going to take the axe off the table and out of his reach.
Absolutely. Presumably you like hide it in the kitchen somewhere?
I'm just keeping it away from him. When he wakes up, he might put up a fight, but at the very least, he's going to have to get to it, which is going to be away from him. Not something he'll be able to grab immediately.
Absolutely.
That's
you can
important.
also see that, sorry, just for reference, the smaller human one has a set of the same like standard issue gambeson that it seems like you guys had picked up right at the beginning. But the very large one doesn't seem to have any armor other than the clothing they fell asleep in.
Fair enough. The second thing I will do is I'm going to mark him.
Great. That kid's marked.
And now we do the murder.
Anything you would like to do before murder ensues?
Curse him.
Great. You drop your Hexblade's Curse, which is going to be double plus your proficiency in damage, as well as like easier to crit on a 19, all that good stuff.
Right.
So, both of you. Sorry, go on.
I'm gonna wait.
Both of you, assuming that you do your fancy synchronizing on your attacks, have the opportunity.
I think we do everything but the prayer from Boondock Saints.
That's good. That's good. It's also a good movie. Personal opinion, I like that one.
This is
both
correct.
of you, since these people are helpless, you obviously get your fancy schmancy advantage on them, but you both also get to automatically crit on these attacks that you're going to make.
What happens if you already automatically crit on this attack?
They do not stack, James. You already get your goddamn horseshit extra double damage on top of crits. Shut your mouth.
I'm just trying to top 104 damage or 108
Listen,
damage.
You're
incredibly valid, but also you can only power game so much. There are caps. I don't know what to tell you. It's gonna run out eventually.
I was just going for the highest possible damage in a Dungeons & Dragons game, that's all.
Of course. I mean, and I absolutely support you. But it's not going to work this time. I'm not even going to need to really pull up a map for this one specifically right now. So if the two of you would both like to make beautiful advantaged attack rolls.
Absolutely.
I'll take the 24 for sure.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. The way that works is you get the 26.
Oh, I take the 26. I'll take the 26.
James already got a 26.
That means it's
I'm going to take the natural 20 because I'm going for the insane damage.
Yeah, I'm taking the natural 19 because that counts as a 20.
Again.
I'm going to go ahead and trump your I can't double the double by rolling a 20 and doubling the double.
Still doesn't work that way. You only get you still only get the one crit and the double damage, as much as I want it. So both of you are going to roll critical damage, which is double dice, but the normal amount of modifiers. And, you are allowed to completely prepare for this as much as you like, no matter how much you would like to put together. This is the point at which I remind you, Christian, that your light that sword up is a free action as long as you have the resources.
Oh, yeah. I say hotcakes. Don't worry. As the sword's coming down.
I'd like to believe that you whisper it very sensuously, like into the hilt. Hotcakes.
And I draw out that final S as long as I can.
Yeah,
I want to use my second level spell slot as a smite also.
Yeah, absolutely. You
Because
can totally do both.
And that'll do how much extra?
Second level, that will do 3 die 8 extra radiant damage, which will be upgraded to 6 die 8 extra radiant damage.
All right, I'm going to have to do it manually because it won't let me do it that way.
Oh, you got to put that roll before the word roll, but all of your syntax other than that is totally correct.
All right, I did it wrong anyway, so this way I can do it right.
And all of those are wrong because those are all sword dice, so they all count as 3s.
Great.
48, 49, 51, 52.
6. So you get 6 extra damage, bringing you up to 52. So you're going to do 52 damage, which is more than enough to just absolutely Shrek.
Oh, that wasn't even with the fire damage. Excuse me.
Right, yeah, and that's also going to be critical. So roll 2 extra die 6.
My total is 56.
56. So Christian, you, with your giant sword, obviously made for battlefield use, are able to very, very swiftly and cleanly pierce the chest of the
damage.
60 damage. You are very easily able to pierce the chest of the Hui Huan. And James, going in with your presumably your fancy magic knife.
Yes, I had to christen it.
You had to christen it. You get in and you drop straight into what you personally know would be a lung puncture. And this giant person's eyes just automatically pop open. And now we are going to roll initiative. And I am still not going to put a tactical map on play, partially because I could not find a good one for the inside of a tavern, but also because I really don't believe it's necessary, because you did how much damage again?
56.
56. Let me just, let me look at that. Yep. Still not dead. Definitely looking real bad.
So now initiative, you say?
Yes.
Now is initiative. Go ahead and roll for initiative. I have a feeling you punctured a lung, and you know you punctured a lung. The Goliath looks horrible. So that is a 10 from Barclay Knox.
16 from me.
16 for you. And just for the sake of it, let me just take this sucker and pull that back open. Roll initiative. Oh, 21 for the rando. So the rando, with their bonus action, is going to go into a rage, as one might expect in such a situation. And then they are going to, since they don't have a weapon with them, they are going to try and grab your head and crush it with their hands. I'm going to hit their, I'm going to use their weapon for the attack. Presumably a 19 is going to hit.
Yeah.
However, I'm not going to roll damage with that because it's just going to be 1 plus strength, which is a Let's see, that's going to be 6 plus 2 more. So you're going to take 8 bludgeoning damage from them grabbing your head and just squeezing your skull ridiculously. And then for their movement action, they are going to move up from prone, and that is all that they can do, because if they try and walk away, they're going to take an attack of opportunity, and that would be not very good. So, moving down the order, Brother Anahe, finish your kill.
I don't know. He really should have been dead already, but I'll just stab him again, I guess.
Goliaths.
Not only a Goliath, but a barbarian who have the biggest hit dice in the game.
I'm gonna hit him with another natural 20.
Oh God! Oh, we've had so many natural 20s.
He's so dead. How did he die so much?
Not only have we had a crap ton of like artificial criticals in this session.
Roll 20 dice generator, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I have terrible luck with it.
I'm not really swinging. I'm just trying to see if I got a natural 20 again for no good reason.
No.
You take 15 damage from that one.
15, that is going to be critical. Don't forget to... No, you don't get... For once, you don't get your sneak attack dice. Yep. 15 cut in half is going to bring this character down to... Listen, you're going to do enough damage to kill it. So please describe how you finish your kill.
Well, I think that the knife was still in his lung, even though he had sat up from the table. So it's less about pulling it out and more I just worked over a little to the left and then pulled it free.
Right, just a little bit of a wrench so you can just angle it into the heart a little bit. I love it. It's beautiful. The Big Galoo. Just for reference, Merkworky, because I saw this in the chat as I talked over. Rage gives you resistance to a bunch of damage. However, the Barbarian only had 4 hit points left. So 7, even after the resistance, was more than enough to kill. Just to clear that question up. Yeah, the Big Galoo, probably a solid 350 pounds of meat just absolutely crumples right on top of you because their arms were out grabbing your head. And it takes a little bit of work for you to get out from underneath. But
I hate the big ones.
I hate the big ones. However, the bigger they are, yeah, hotcakes just extinguishes.
Well, let's search these guys for this trinket box.
Yeah. Well, you know that there was that sort of that large collection of their personal stuff that they put in the middle of the room. You go through, you find a large number of other things, various other rations, a handful of knives, the armor that they had before. And the most exciting thing seems to be a blackened wooden box that they were holding on their person. Which obviously has a lot of very intricate carvings and obviously like a big old skull motif right on the front. Necromancers are very many things, but subtle is not one of them.
I really like the decor on this box.
Yeah, I mean, it's expertly crafted.
I, too, have an affinity for skulls on objects.
I haven't met one of you folks that didn't.
Beautiful. So, which one of you are the first to put your hands on the box?
Oh, no, there's no putting my hands on it. We're going to be checking that thing out first. I think that is heavy.
Who the hell do you think we are?
I had a feeling, but I had to ask.
That is a trapped object if there ever was one.
Beautiful.
And not going to be physically touched. We're going to use some of their clothing to bag it up in one of their bags and take it with us. That's somebody else's issue.
Yeah, presumably you literally just like leave it in the knapsack that it was in.
Yep.
Okay, there it is.
Gather up their stuff. Obviously, you have the craft-made banjo and the short sword and the bardiche, should you like it, which would function as a great axe. It's not going to be as good as the stuff that you already have on your person because you have just gotten magical weapons and some better armor. However, you still have it.
Spare short sword is good. I'll take it.
Told you.
Sometimes you stick it in something and go along. So presumably you go back out the back door.
Yep.
The group of zombie gardeners sort of all like take just a very brief notice at you, look at you for like a solid 2 seconds, and then all completely in unison like raise their right hands and do one solid wave and then lower them.
Yep.
And then you all start heading back to the manse.
Yep. We go back with Fred, Bill, and Steve.
Going back to the Necro House.
Necro Manor.
Necro Manor, of course. Oh, fuck, that's so much better. I'm sorry.
Necromance,
Necromance is also good. I literally said the worst option after already saying Mance.
It's okay, buddy. We've just been doing this a lot longer than you.
That's true. The Necromance, the Necro Manor. You return to it in relatively short order. A solid 15-minute walk with your newfound things. And you find the Necromancer, who you still have not gotten the name of. Knock on the door.
On purpose.
A zombie butler in an old ratted tuxedo opens the door and bows very deeply and goes and motions towards the stairs. However, even though they're motioning towards the stairs, you can see your necromancer friend is just sitting at a coffee table in the main room drinking something out of a small cup.
Dump the knapsack on the table so the box lands on it.
Right, this is still a fantasy action adventure movie, so it very easily topples over, and the thing that you want to show up on camera just pops right out. That was pretty quick. I'm gonna be honest. I'm very impressed. You've all done.
The big guy woke up when we were killing him in their sleep, but he didn't live much longer after that. Fair
enough. I'm not in a position to morally judge. I inherited a bunch of dead bodies. They grab it with their hands, sort of look at it.
But it's not that we like killing people in their sleep. It's just it's more efficient.
It is more
Also,
efficient.
It was either that or wait for them to wake up.
We don't have that kind of time.
We were in a hurry.
Right, of course.
In fact, I didn't wake anyone up.
He woke up when I gave him the sucking chest wound.
But they look up for a moment and, drag their eyes to the corner of the room just for a moment and sort of sit there thinking, cocking their head as if they're listening. I'm gonna need a little help.
All right. What do you got?
I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm very bad at riddles, but there's a riddle to open the box.
Okay.
Are you good? Are you ready for it?
Start it.
No, not yet.
All right, just let me know when you're ready, and I'm going to give you the riddle.
Oh, boy.
Oh, got to get my magic ready. I don't know how magic this is going to be. Oh.
Okay, ready.
All right, are you ready?
Yep.
You ready? Great, we're ready. What grows and consumes, but will never live? That's it. That's the riddle. I can tell you again if you need it.
What grows and consumes, but will never live?
Well,
that's the riddle.
I have an answer, but I'm not sure it's what we're looking for.
I mean, there's probably going to be one answer because it's a magic box, but what are you looking for?
I'm thinking fire.
And the box pops right open. Oh shit, that took you no time. I'm really bad at riddles.
Hotcake.
The box closes and pops open again. Hotcakes also would have been acceptable. They reach into the little box and pull out what looks like sort of a open-backed, to the point where it's like adjustable based on the size, circlet made of non-polished steel. So it just has this very, very dark gray complexion. Put it...
Is it circlet?
Yes, like a small crown. Raise it above, put it on their head, and all of the multiple rubies that had been endowed into the circlet. It looks like a total of 5 in the various sort of like swirly designs. Flare just for a moment as it is set upon the head, and then calm down.
Better?
I think you're clear. Presumably you still want the undead to attack everybody else in the city?
Yeah, any other competition, they've all got it done. And you were saying about giving us a little escort to the fortification?
Oh, absolutely. Here, let me this might take a few minutes. Can I offer you something to drink? More of the brandy that you already drank in my house?
We just tasted, but that would be great to actually have a glass of it.
Great.
Have you smelled that brandy? Have you smelled it? I mean, I couldn't not. I took one whiff of that. I had to have something.
You're right. Also, you helped me because I am terrible at riddles and don't have a lot of combat zombies. I mean, I do now. I now have a shit ton of combat zombies, but I did not. So here, let me... Is there anything else you would like? I have plenty of liquor and rations that I've been able to collect. I do have some zombie cooks who I did... Hold on, let me clarify. Strip them down to skeletons. There's no meat falling in anything. Completely sanitized. Totally bathed them in bleach.
Wonderful.
So, would you like something prepared?
Yeah, I think we have time for a meal and some brandy before we move out.
It's going to take me a minute to rally some troops anyway.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Let's do it. Let's rest here then.
Yeah,
Great.
we should. I think we will. If you mind, we will actually going to do a long rest here in your establishment where it's safe.
Absolutely. We have guest rooms. And
Perfect.
now that I have control back over the city, there shouldn't be any problem with anybody else giving us any trouble.
You run a nice city. I'm just going to say.
I have no idea how the city was before everybody else died. But
I think you're going to do great.
As the local steward of the dead, I do my best to run the city. I am hoping to reopen it to various people who would like to come in and exit. Hoping to reopen trade. Preferably even get people to live here again, because obviously the undead are very helpful. I would like to clarify, I am not. I have no claim over any souls. These are totally, completely just bodies.
Can you do me another favor?
Yeah, what's up?
We've got a friend, lives in a farmhouse to the west and a little south of here. Her name is Brenda Hashbrowns.
Yes. Whatever.
No,
Well,
it is. Her name is Brenda Hashbrowns.
She's having hard times, getting by lately. So if there's any spare supplies, just like food, that sort of thing, you can send out there. Mostly she needs help with her crops. She just doesn't have anything else to plant. And I'm thinking you probably don't need any seeds or plants you might find because, well, zombies.
Right, I'm the only person who needs to eat here.
So it might be a good idea to talk with her. She might even do your farming for you if you work out a deal. She's a personal friend of ours. I'd like it if you treated her as such.
Absolutely. You've done me a great favor, and I want nothing more than to return that.
Perfect.
Absolutely. Alrighty. Well,
he also makes really, really good hash browns.
I had kind of assumed based on the name.
You know what goes good with hash browns? Hotcakes.
The thing lights ablaze. To clarify, you can still say the command word and it will act as a torch, but it won't do extra damage if you are not actively using a spell slot.
Nice.
Great for starting campfires.
It is. It is still on fire. So, a meal is prepared for you all. You sit down around the large dining room hall with a table that is much, much bigger than it should be for a group of your size. The skeleton chefs very clumsily rattle out, and they have various things, barley stew, and you even get, possibly for the first time in a solid while, a proper steak.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Various things. It is a proper 5-course meal. This is the fanciest either of you eaten, definitely since you got here, and quite possibly in quite a long time.
I don't even care if this is people.
Oh, it's not people. I wouldn't feed people other people without their permission.
It's just a saying where I come from. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's totally fine.
It's a way of saying your food is good.
Actually, you know what? That's very nice. Thank you. So you sit and presumably have whatever conversation your characters will allow you to have with the necromancer over the course of the next probably hour. It's a very long meal.
How many courses?
5.
5 courses. That's a good meal.
It is a good meal. And you go forward and treat yourselves to a long night's rest. All of the beds that you have been brought to, you are given separate guest rooms that are right next to each other, with one adjoined bathroom. They even have plumbing in this necromancer house. It's crazy.
This is the best place to stay in town, period. I don't think any other competitors are having anywhere close to this easy of a time.
This is true. Partially because they're all dead.
On the ground since we got here.
Also, we've done all the killing, I think, for them. You know, they might run into a terribly injured giant, a couple of dead guards.
Well, now they're going to have a whole town of attack zombies after them.
Well, that'll at least give me sweet dreams. Good night, Mac.
Good night.
And you have a long, restful night of sleep, the full proper 8 hours. And as you wake up, the zombie butler knocks on both of your doors, leads you out to the front room, and the necromancer, whose name you have learned is Canton, which I will type into the thing just in case you want to take notes. Cantund. Canton motions forward towards the large double doors at the front of the house, and a small group of approximately 20 of the same undead guardsmen that you dealt with at the gatehouse sit there awaiting your orders. And I think that is where we are going to call tonight's session.
All right.
All right. Legion
Hey,
of
thanks for running the session, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, you know, I'm just happy to keep playing with y'all.
I had a little bit more energy tonight than I did last week. That felt great.
Yeah, it's almost like we didn't have to spend an hour fixing technical difficulties. Weird.
Yeah, for some reason that just completely drained me last time.
That always
Luckily,
gets
I've been
me.
dealing with that all day.
I want to thank everybody for watching us here on the Zombie RPS Entertainment channel on Twitch. Don't forget, stop by tomorrow. There might be another stream on. Who knows? Check up on all the things that are going on all week. And starting next Friday, Zombie Orpheus Entertainment's doing ZoeCon, the virtual con. Get out on their Discord server. Check out some of the events, panels, RPG groups, viewing parties, streaming specials. It's a whole complete weekend of all kinds of great stuff. Don't miss it. And we love you guys. And
we're even trying to do a Gamers Live. That's crazy.
Yes, I saw
crazy.
that. In fact, I'm going to watch that, and I scheduled all my games around that. So
I can't believe that we're even trying that on Now.
That's right. Oh, and hey, we got Metaverse on Monday, so don't miss that, guys. 6 p.m. Pacific. Go see Metaverse right here. Masters of the Metaverse. Start the next more into the next season. Love you guys, and see you guys next time. Good night.
All right.
Good night. I would just like to thank everybody for coming, and I would